Hello.
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 Hello. Hello.
We are here.
That is true. We are here. It feels weird for me in particular because I didn't have to really change the scenes at all today.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did the Zelda thing yesterday.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to change my reactive. I didn't have to change a bunch of stuff. I was like, this is weird. This is a weird day.
You just gave me a panic attack. It's like, fuck, did I change my reactive or not?
I checked them for you beforehand. Oh fuck! Oh jeez! Oh god!
You know, I checked.
Oh god! Oh fuck!
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Can't believe that I've disgraced my parents in this way.
Oh, I'm gonna have to tell them.
I've brought shame.
But yeah, we are here. We are going to be playing some Zelda today. Maybe you heard of it. We played some Zelda yesterday as well. For those of you who are seeing the VOD here, the other VOD should already be up on the channel probably the day after this is live, so that's funny. But it is a little interesting little story, and we'll hopefully see some more of it in a little bit. It's gonna only take like 2 or 3 sessions, but we'll see. We'll see what goes down.
Go see the Jasner.
We'll see.
Do it.
It's
Been
fun.
84 years since you've seen the Jasner.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. It's been maybe
Boss what's your hell of a time.
It's
No,
been a
that
year or
math
two.
adds up.
All right.
Mhm.
I see. All right, cool.
What
All
is 2 years if not 87 years?
right. You might as well just round up
Has it actually
Yeah.
been 2 years?
to round up
Wait.
to 87. You know.
Wait, fuck.
Zelda, so this game has been going on for about 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
Long.
Yeah. Pretty fun. Pretty good. But yes, you guys can watch that over on Sundays, or just watch the VODs when they come out. It'll be a good time. We will see if anything from there affects this side of things at any point. But speaking of things affecting this side of things, there was some interesting things said last time that may or may not have some implications over the course of the entirety of the campaign. 3 big things in particular hit my brain immediately, but we'll see if somebody wants to tell us what happened last time. I will roll a dice. This time we'll roll Polo's dice, and I'm gonna roll the one that they don't have. There it is. I'm gonna roll this D4 here. Polo will be 1. That would make Gorthos 2, Marco 3, and Ronan 4. I will now ask somebody besides someone who's sick with COVID, tell me what happened last time.
Oh,
If somebody other than Anthony, please tell me what happened last time.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? It was a week ago.
That might as well be 75 years from now.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you have to round, I guess.
That's not rounding.
It might as well not have happened yet. For how much I don't remember it.
So, give me a quick bit because
Quick
I'm gonna
bit?
have a moment to recall. Because if I'm remembering correctly, we started off in WitchCon again. Deciding now that we're here, what do we do now? And from there we decided, okay, well, let's do our usual thing of we've reached a new area. Let's go home.
let's leave.
It's literally what we do.
So after Polo put down the doorknob, we split up into some groups with an assignment in hand. I went back to Castletown. Ronan and Marco went to with Obra to the Temple of Time because they wanted to check on Zelda. Not so much Zelda, I think it was on Jason and Matilda. Polo went back on her own to look for her brothers. And Gorthos stayed behind. I think he stayed behind.
Yep.
To look at his mines. He craved the mines. So with Marco and Ronan at the Temple of Time, they found the two girls. They noticed she was acting very, very chipper, while Jason was kind of just being the knight, essentially. I think the idea was to take her back to the WitchCon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure. Yeah, they couldn't find Zelda anywhere.
They weren't going for Zelda. They were looking for Matilda.
Yeah,
and
they
Jason.
weren't going for Zelda. They were just looking for those two. So the idea was to take them back. And Matilda is very happy about this because not only does she get to now can't talk. Not only does she get to do a bit more of what she wants now to Jason's chagrin, but she just gets to do whatever she wants now. She likes that. She's really happy about this. It's not weird, it's just new. With Polo, she obviously was looking for her brothers, and even though she couldn't sniff out Vega, I forgot the name of my dog, Orion. Orion was able to sniff him out, but we didn't find Vega. Instead, we found Domran. And through a good conversation, of me somehow still being able to understand Domran,
Very fun.
she was pointed to Aga and Pika. Because Domran hadn't seen Vega in 3 days, and it's been weird because he's been standing him up, you see. And that's just not like Vega to stand somebody up. So Polo made her way to Aga and Pika. Pika has a wall of Domran photographs. It's completely normal. There's nothing creepy about it. What do you want, Polo? And Polo asked, can you do a quick divination for me so I can please find my brother? I know that this probably isn't going to be for free. And Pika said, oh no, I can totally do it for free. It's just, I'm not going to be as invested, you see, because I don't care. And Polo was like, you see, I understand that. I also understand that you have an obsession with somebody, and I have this really cool thing, this really cool deal. Like, just listen to me here. Have you ever heard of what the fish of love is? I can make it for that, because right now, and I can tell you this uncontested, it has a 100% win rate to get you the guy you want. Trust me. I will do that for you. And Pika was like, fuck, there's a hard deal to refuse, and I'm ready to do it. But there's one big drawback. I need more magic. I need about an Aga full of magic. Oh, you mean about an Aga full? Yeah, I need about an Aga full. Well, Aga's right there, but Aga doesn't want to. Why? Aga's obsessed with something right now. And you know what? Like, I can probably take the time and figure it out, but she's really being Aga right now. And I'm too busy with Domran, okay? And Polo was like, okay, let me go talk to Aga. And goes to Aga. And Aga's been obsessing over these visions of someone going into her memories and taking her magic, and she really doesn't like that. That's her fucking trauma. You don't get to just shortcut it and get the magic. This is bullshit. She hates it, but she's very, very tie-tie, and she's really exhausted, and her room's a fucking mess. And she's scared that through the theft / replication of this magic, that the kingdom will fall to ruin, and she just can't bear that shit. And Polo was like, how about this? You let us drain you of the remaining magic because I need to know where my brothers are. We take you home, where nobody can enter without the password, and you go the fuck to sleep. And Aga said, you drive a hard you drive a pretty good bargain. I find it very hard to find a reason to refuse. Not to mention, you're also a cute girl, so that gives you advantage on the charm roll. So with that thorough convincing, they were able to get Pika an Aga full of magic, and Pika now very, very invested to make sure that she gets this vision right, because she wants that fish of love. They do a divination and they see a vision. They see an iron knuckle, they see a cart going towards the desert, if not already in the desert, but no real signs of any sort of speaking from Vega. We don't know what the condition of Vega in this instance, but it seems like he's heading to a Gerudo town, which can only mean one thing. Two things. Vega was captured and somehow seduced and is being driven to Gerudo Valley. Vega got horny and jumped into a cart going to Gerudo Valley. We don't know which one. They're both so possible. We don't know if there's a third option, but the first two seem likely. With that in mind, Polo was like, I've got to find my other brother. But first, let me reconvene with Marco and Ronan and the princess and her knight and Obra and kind of catch up on what we've got here. With Aga and Pika, because we're taking them back to the house. With Gorthos, he goes down to the mines. And he's like, I love me my mines. No moons here. Don't need no moons in my mines. And he meets a little spirit girl, and she kind of looks a little bit like heckin' Arma. And he was like, Arma, when did you change your hair? And Arma, and not Arma, was like, who's Arma? I am Sword Spirit. I can't remember if she had an actual name.
Nope, just Sword Spirit, and then later Gorthos changed it.
Yeah. Okay, she was just called Caliburn, because Net Navi reference unintentionally.
That's what Gorthos named them. I didn't name them shit.
Yeah, I know. But with learning a little bit about the Sword Spirit, might have given him some insight of where the hell freaking Arma came from. But he wasn't gonna worry too much about that. He wants to look in his heckin' mines. And then he saw these two, Stu and Gru over here, and I can't remember what the hell they were doing. There was quite a bit of findangling going around there. But they were fucking around with shit. Then at some point, freaking Gorthos keeps going through his mines, and he finds freaking Sister Ivori, where he finds out that she's just a fucking dodo bird. She's a dodo. She's a tsundere. I missed you too, you dumb. She's a tsundere. And freaking, I missed you too, sis. They had a really good, heartfelt, cute, and you should go watch that. I can't do it justice. I shit on everything. So, fucking reconvening back at the house, it was like, man, what do we do from here? Oh yeah, I forgot Polo made rice balls. That happened. Reconvening in the house, it was like, okay, now what do we do? Freaking, after catching up, it was like, well, now we gotta, proceed with WitchCon, but we can't let, we can't leave Vega in the desert. Does anybody know the Song of the Desert? Fuck. Nobody knows it.
Everybody's like, Vega knew it.
Vega knew it.
Took it with
yeah. Yeah. Hey, Vega, can you... Oh. Hey, Vega, can you give us the... Oh. Meanwhile, as the party ponders how the fuck they're going to get about 3 days worth of traveling in an instant to save a dumb sheep demon, we got a little bit of a fucking I don't know how, a scene transition where we're in the cart where Vega and Rocket, who was there the whole time with him.
Don't worry about Rocket.
We definitely didn't forget about
We
him.
didn't forget about Rocket.
Don't worry about Rocket.
Rocket
He's
was
fine.
there the whole time.
I'm always worried about him.
Don't worry about Rocket. He's
Rocket
fine.
was there the whole time.
Rocket's doing his best. Is where he's
Heckin' Vega wakes up in the cart, notices what's going on, and is like, oh, it's on. Like Donkey Kong.
Can't believe he's gonna kill Rocket.
This is gonna end really bad. It's gonna end really bad. And that's what happened last time on Hemkim Zelda.
Going into a little bit more detail on a few certain things. Whenever you guys did come back, you guys did say that one way you guys are going to go into the desert is by sending Kuro and Sierra as close to the desert as they can get through the tunnels that the bandits have. And then they will start to make their way into the desert and eventually use one of Shefos's hairs to get all of you guys into the desert, since they are the ones most capable of doing such a thing, Kuro having known the area and Sierra able to get him over there. So that is one way you guys are going to get to the desert. Going into a couple of more details, you guys had figured that whatever happened with Aga seemed to also be what happened with Matilda. You guys aren't sure, but you guys know that there is somebody in the dungeons of the castle that they captured and maybe have some kind of idea on things. And finally, the things that were happening over with Gorthos. There was the interactions with Stu and Gru here. Stu having said that they're a leather worker. They were working the general store before everything happened with Slaverman, and then they kind of lost their job, their general store job at the very least. They are going to be here because apparently there was some magic in their family. So they were brought here because they had basically just enough by proxy to be allowed in here. Gru, apparently, having never shown off any magical prowess whatsoever, is here with some kind of a little lantern, some kind of a little candle that seemed to give off a large magic presence. Both of them looking at this weird veil-like monster skin or something that is seemingly around here. The same veil that Caliburn had cut for Gorthos, so it didn't drag him down into the depths and suck him dry of all of his life force and magic. But the main thing that was happening over here, that other than the cutesy talk that was going down between Ivori and Gorthos, they also had explained more about the large fight that had happened in the forest. One that now they're decently sure everybody has most of the context behind. There were around 100 heroes 1,000 years ago that had all went there under the word of Gorthos coming there, but it was Ivori that originally had brought even Gorthos to the forest to look into something. Whenever they had gotten there, they were about to fight against all the monsters whenever there were a couple of very skilled heroes among them that actually betrayed them. And Ivori seems to think that those skilled heroes, while they had a strange manicness about them, they also had the advantage of being Sheikah, which is how they were able to do as much damage as they were doing without anybody really noticing or really stopping them. With that being said, only Ivori and the boulders seem to have gotten out from the forest, to their knowledge. They know that they knew that both Gora and I can never remember the name of the Donu, and I'm really sad about it. Kartani, thank you. They know that both Gora and Kartani had been alive when they left each other, but were not alive beyond. They did not leave the forest, either meaning they are dead, which you guys know from Gora's point of view, or they have been trapped through time or banished to the Shadow Realm, or maybe they were betrayers all along. Who's to say? But it's interesting. The only things you guys have found from them were the ghost of Gora and the blade. Those are the only two that didn't make it out, yada yada. But all of the weird demonic things that people keep on putting onto Ivori, she seemed to have an answer for it. She's like, I didn't trust people. Sheikah were there. I murdered guys, and I had good reasons to, but I still did it, so I'm probably still really bad, Gorthos. I'm a real bad guy. And Gorthos is like, shut the fuck up.
I'm real bad, woo. I'm a bad girl.
With
I'm
all
sorry.
that being said, thank you very much, Squeaky, for the recap. I will give you some squacky inspirations. They're so squacky. There they are.
Wow.
So squacky. And yeah, with all that being said, so quacky. So quacky, those quack inspirations.
Quack situation.
Those quackos.
Don't make me do it.
Don't make you do it.
Oh no.
Don't make me get out the docks.
Don't make you do it. Oh shit.
Oh no.
They left in Skype.
Leaves in Skype.
My God.
But yes, with all that being said, we're going to come back into things. We're going to start things off with Gorthos. As Gorthos, it is still mostly early in the afternoon, early in the night, when you are still back here in your minds, though you can't really tell. Where's the moon? So you did take a bit of time to sit off to the side and start to think about everything that just had been relayed to you. The fact that not only were there, oh gee, that's not the correct thing for this kind of, not only were there heroes that potentially betrayed you, but that they were of potentially the most notoriety of all the ones that most likely get brought there, which means that they were ones that you would have never thought to betray. Not to mention, you now know that Ivory, being the one to bring them all there, was also technically the one to destroy the Great Deku Tree as well.
She's done a lot of stuff. Yes, there's a lot to think about, especially the Sheikah thing. Like, what?
It does also bring up the memories that you had gone through with Jasna before they left. Something about Kakariko Town being somewhat in trouble and somewhat taken over, but they had no idea anything about what was going on there and just wanted to go and save their people.
Oh, I was just saying the thing, like, did Jasna even make it there?
Who knows? It's been a month and a half.
Feels like yesterday.
Probably closer to 2 months.
A lot happens in a small span of time in Hyrule.
You were told not to make your way further into the tunnels towards your vault, towards your treasury, since there were most likely traps put there from whenever you were in your prime. Not to mention, this is very abnormal that you don't remember shit. According to Ivory, you should be remembering so much more shit. You're like a master sage, a master fucking archer, a master fucking wizard, everything in that brain of yours, and it's just not there.
You're literally
You're the master of masters. What the fuck's going on?
God damn.
You mastered mastering things.
The perfect Omni class.
Kingdom Hearts.
Come back on Wednesday.
Man. Surely you remember what you left in the box, Gortha.
Shut the fuck up.
No.
Yo, we're about to get Gorthoed. We're about to get Gorded.
Oh no. He's Gorton.
Die.
Look at him gore all over the
You just let this pull the hood down.
So this is where Gilgamesh's Keyblade went.
I love the idea.
You mean the fucking Gorthos blade?
I love the idea
G-blade.
that the Master of Masters in their very humanoid body would then pull back their hood and reveal that they were actually a fucking 12-foot tall demon skeleton.
The cloak really slims you down.
The hood really hides a lot.
It's just magic that shrinks him down to the size of a normal person.
You know, honestly, thinking about the ideas that Keyblades were created by Gorthos makes a lot more sense.
How the fuck does that make more sense?
It makes more sense than what we have from Keyblades, really.
You mean nothing?
Exactly.
You see what had happened was, after years of being in the Stage of Creation's house, he took the doorknob and reforged them into keys.
Ah.
And then threw them in the hole.
They went where'd you put all the keys, Gorthos? In the hole.
What do you mean in the hole?
He just turned all the doorknobs into fucking keys because he thought it was funny and he threw them down the hole.
See, everybody thinks that this is like
You
some kind of a black hole or some kind of destruction thing. No, just seeing whatever you throw in there just gets sent to Kingdom Hearts.
It just goes into the nebulous void of the Summoner's Network RP.
Yeah, it goes into
multiverse.
Summoner's Network RP universe that gets going on there. This is sad.
He just starts striking a fucking atom bomb. It's like, oh, you fuckers.
One day the UBA are gonna come out of this hole.
Shut up. I hate stupid the UPA. That's the least favorite thing. That is my least favorite.
You
God
know you
damn it.
love it. You bring it up more
But
than
the
I
Loki
do.
series is good.
I do not. Probably.
I probably don't.
I'm just saying we haven't seen a talking bear yet in Kingdom Hearts. But that's not the point.
Give it time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Deciding time. All right.
You sat down, you have taken a bit of time to think on things. It is now much later in the night than when you had sat down. Currently, nobody has come to say or do anything with you. You've just been sitting here watching people go about doing their things. Every now and then a spirit passes you by, but you don't really think too much on it.
Maybe the others will figure something out. This is all too much.
You want to try to? You want to try to make your way back toward the beginning?
Yeah.
You get yourself back up onto the main bridge to take you across the large ravine that's inside of Spectacle Rock.
Before he makes it like to that point, he's like, "Oh yeah," he just ducks down and starts walking.
What?
He ducks down and starts walking so he doesn't get hit by that veil in the face.
Right. I thought you were talking about ducking underneath the bridge.
No. You think I would? I didn't forget this time, asshole.
You ducked down. It's also that Caliburn had said that they had taken down most of it, but you've been here for a little while. Maybe it grew back.
I don't know how fast it grows.
You duck down and you make your way through. As you do find, whenever you get near the end, that there is no veil that jumps down at you. Nothing of that sort seems to really come out at you or anything. Stepping back into the expanse area of everything, you start making your way down the large snaking little bridgeways that would lead you down, eventually bringing yourself down to the main section. Looking around, you find that nobody has jumped in the hole at the very least, so you know that's good. You're decently sure you have you know where everybody is and that none of them are in the hole.
Argo, how many of them are in the hole?
You see Argo holding the skull kid over the hole. Just one. No.
He's pretty sure I'll just walk through the door again anyway.
Let's find out. As you walk by, you do find that Magic Frog seems to have Rudan over on them. Rudan seems to mostly be sleeping at the time, because even though the witches are very active right now, it is still very late at night. They have their they have Polo's little carrot guy that's full of carrots. I love him. He's so full of carrots.
Garf.
He has so many carrots in him.
He's so distressed.
So much carotene.
So he's indigestible.
We'll say at that point that you make your way into the doorway, bringing yourself back toward the main house. I'm trying to figure out exactly where you are without throwing you into the void, like I just almost did. There we go. I have to remember to zoom in whenever I move this far back.
I ended up in the prison. That's new.
Stop going in the prison. As you make your way out from it, you do find that you step out into the main area. Coming out, you find that most of the others are here. Stepping out into the main section, you see that there is a large section of strange foodstuffs on the table. You remember seeing something similar back at the Demon Manor, but not exact. As you step in, you find that both Zelda and Matilda are here, as well as Pika. Aga seems to be dead. They're just kind of laying limply over Orion.
Gorthos missed a party, it seems.
She was like that when she got here.
Perhaps we all missed a party.
It's really sad. I hope she makes it.
What does that mean?
Taking another bite out of the rice ball.
Pika, what does that mean?
She was my best friend.
She is your best friend. She's still alive.
Let's just point so like one of the other player characters just points at them in general, like explain.
She's sleeping. She's real. Looks. She's. Polo, you came with her. You explain.
She's fine, really.
Yeah.
I have to explain again.
I'm confused. Is she dead or not?
No, she's alive.
No,
Oh,
She's
okay.
breathing.
All right.
Well then, good.
No, Miss.
That explains
Anna's not-
everything.
Yeah, she's not dead. She's just exhausted from using all of her magic.
Yeah, you would think that she'd know better than that, but
I asked her to.
it explains a lot.
Apparently, there was a bit of a magical problem while we've been gone. Both the princess and Aga here have gotten some of their memories read or thoughts looked at, and they all seem to be stemming from times in their lives that they said that they had gained some kind of skill. Yes, as Matilda steps forward. Every single memory that I can think of from all those times was whenever I was either talking with Jason about their past or any kind of time that I would have had like a eureka moment whenever I was training to be a witch. I guess I'm a magician because I don't have a gem.
I mean, there's that little gem there on your cloak.
Yeah,
I guess
this
it's
one.
not an honorary, it's not a witch gem, but
Yeah, it's mostly just a clasp.
People were reading your memories.
At first, we thought that perhaps it might have been something where they missed me and hit the princess, but apparently they did something with Aga as well, though it can't have been the same person. The one that attacked the princess is in the prisons, we think.
I mean, are we sure that it's not the same person? Did they get Aga first and then go for the princess, or have
I
we
don't
ruled
think
that out?
I don't think we've ruled it out yet. Miss Olga simply stated that someone seems to have gone through her memories and found a way to replicate their magics.
At the moment, we can
But-
only wait for Miss Aga to wake up and maybe tell us when it happened for them. Because if it happened before
Yeah.
Matilda, then that means it could be the same person.
Explain to Gorthos what it was like for you, Matilda.
Well, we were inside of the temple at the time. A lot of people have been making their way there and back, and, well, it's been getting rather crowded there. Whenever we were making our way out, I felt like something washed over me. Like an egg was cracked on my head and it went everywhere. And
I know what that feeling is.
and apparently I passed out. But I feel really good. Ever since I woke up, I've been feeling really a lot better. And things seem a lot clearer, though I don't think that that's how it feels for Miss Aga. Also, whenever I was thinking about things, all I could remember were times that I was practicing magic, times that I came across certain passages inside of the castle, or certain writings in my tomes. And finally, the only other things I remember were times that I was speaking with Jason, when they were telling me about their past, and they were telling me about their father, and things of that nature. I think at those times, they were mostly just showing me their music as well.
Magical songs, by chance?
When after the princess had gone down, I made sure that anybody who was trying to leave the area didn't get to just leave. One person was sprinting away, and whenever I caught up with them, I was able to capture them, and at which point the king threw them in the dungeons. They were
And all
rather
the
fast,
people-
however. They were beyond anything that I'd seen a normal person to be able to do. If I hadn't been training with Roki and Kira, I might not have been able to keep up with them.
They were as quick as a Sheikah.
I don't know if they were as talented as Roki or Kira, but they definitely were fast. maybe not as fast as Marco, but they were very fast.
Have you ever felt this sensation, Jason?
Of an egg hitting me in the head?
Something like that.
Not that I can remember. I don't think so. I thought that whenever she had told me that some kind of an egg had hit her, that it might have been some kind of projectile or something, but I even though your food customs are the way they are in this time, I don't remember anything like that from where I came from.
Matilda, do you remember everything?
Just about. What kind of things do you think I should be thinking of or remembering?
Is there a pocket missing from your memory? A span of time missing? A blank spot? Something you feel should be there but isn't?
Nope.
Hmm.
I have every memory from the day I was born till now. I don't remember the day I was born. That would have been weird.
He's known people, but anyway. Interesting. And
I don't think
she's
I've
been
ever had any
suffering
problems with my memories. Even the visions that I saw during that was extremely vivid.
Perhaps that was the...
Was there anything particularly important on the pages of the tome?
Mostly it was just me learning magic, as I mentioned before. There were only a couple of things I could really bring up, like the time that I learned how to use my teleportation magics, the ones that I used on Jason whenever I fled. The times that I learned how to stack different sigils atop each other. And again, mostly just the times that I would be hanging out with Jason whenever we were just kind of hanging out around the castle when they were showing me their music and talking about their family. Other than that, I guess the biggest one that came was whenever I learned how to disguise myself.
Interesting.
But even then, I didn't really do it from scratch. I had to do it from the visage of that demon that I found.
All right. Porthos would have words with this prisoner.
Yeah, that was the plan. We just wanted to wait till everyone was here.
It is distressingly familiar.
Since the drawbridges and things are up currently, should we all just quickly gain rest before we make our way out? They'll be bringing them down before first light, I believe.
If we must wait, we must wait, he supposes.
Or we can sneak
use
him
that
from the
time
side. Matilda just rubs their hands together.
Or we could
sneak
spend that time talking to Ivori.
We could go into the
Because
crying
there
hole.
are questions.
The crying hole is a valid option, but Ronan has a point. She perhaps is not...
They do usually basically hibernate during the day. If we don't talk to Miss Ivori now, then we probably won't be able to talk to them again until tomorrow night.
That is very true.
Porthos and her have already had their words. So he's not sure what she's doing at this point.
We need to go and ask them to unshrink one of our carriages, or at least tell us how to unshrink it so that when we get it out to the position we want it to be in, we can unshrink it ourselves, or maybe send somebody out who can unshrink it, or something like that. We're going to be making our way into the deserts.
I thought you would have some words for your grandmother, Brother Kuro.
I do not have any words for her. I would like to avoid her as much as possible, to be honest. I do want to speak with her about some things, but we don't have to do it now, right?
I mean, very true. I guess I should have asked Galen if he wanted me to ask anything in his stead.
Galen was always her favorite.
Well, I guess
Is that really the right word for it?
I guess it never truly came up in conversation, and the many times that I brought it up, so I can only assume that he didn't have anything he wanted to tell her. Or we were just too busy.
With other things.
Busy, right.
We have been going through quite a few trials and tribulations as of late.
Yes. Sun Temple was a mess. Sun Temple was a mess.
We still has not been, but still. If there's things you wish to ask of Avori, that would be the best time. She may not seem terribly talkative, but she's just not good at talking to people in general. If you cut her some slack, it should be easier.
Have you had anything happen, Polo?
Anything happen? In
Well,
regards to what?
The last time we had started on any sort of large-scale adventure or anything, we started because you had a dream or a vision yourself. Have you been looking into that eye you have, or have you been doing anything with it?
Not as of late. I haven't really put much thought into it. I guess I was too preoccupied with simply getting to the mountain for the other relic that I didn't think about the one I had with me this whole time. I guess when we do choose to rest, I can consider it. It seems to more come to me at night.
Perhaps Antares was more of a night owl. Night sheep.
It is very possible. I am curious as to what Miss Avori knows about him. Or maybe if she can help me understand this a little bit more.
Might be
and hopefully
something to
not
bring
take
up.
it from me.
Be prepared to hear some choice words.
I don't
If she does.
think Miss Evori would take anything from you. She might ask you to throw it in the expanse, but all you have to do is tell them no.
Yeah, I don't plan on doing that.
But can we do that later?
No.
Okay. You try.
No, I can let you study it and you can try to make a copy of it and throw that down the hole because I won't care about a replica.
You will make the best glass eyeball this world's ever seen.
What would happen if
Alright
I
then.
took my bottle and I opened the bottle and then I put the bottle next to the expanse and tried
I don't
to
think you can bottle the expanse.
They said the same thing about lava and I did that.
Yes, but lava has a physical thing. The expanse is more of a concept than something you can physically touch and reach for.
Actually, girl might have a point.
What?
They are magic bottles.
Can you
point?
can you at least put the bottle on a stick or something so as to not actually put your hands into the expanse?
I could do that.
Last thing I need is the only time your brother just doesn't have you under his supervision, you lose an arm. He won't let me hear the end of it.
It's true.
Well then, shall we go? I'm sure that the king won't mind anything as long as I'm with the princess. We can go now if all of you wish to talk to this Evori.
Worth us assured you will enjoy her company.
Not
She
from what I've
really
heard.
is.
He can just looks
You-
up.
Mileage may vary.
You should not listen to so many rumors.
Oh, I'm not talking about rumors. Aga has never said a single good word about her. I can't wait to meet her.
Is Miss Avori Miss Aga's master?
Mhm.
Oh.
Evori was somebody who stayed around Castletown for a long time before all of this. Aga's sort of, kind of their replacement.
Oh, I see.
They just sort of left one day and never came back.
And I guess that is where the bubbling resentment came from.
Fucking hate that bitch.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that bitch. I do.
Sounds like a good plan. Though, I think I'll catch up with y'all with that. I do want to, since we're at this thing and we're gonna hopefully find out more about the things that have happened, it'd probably be a good idea to bring Hosier along. Find out more about what happened with his brother and the stage of life. Let him know that we're about to confront him pretty soon.
Does that mean you'll be going to Lon Lon?
Is he at Lon
Hosier in
Lon?
Lon Lon?
Hosier
Where's
is
Hosier?
here.
Yeah, Jose
Right.
Oh,
is
he's
in
here?
town now.
Okay, I don't know why I thought he was in Lon Lon. Never mind.
It's okay.
It's fine.
We
Besides, we need all the mouths we can get, right?
Hmm.
Sure, I see no issue.
He should be easy to find.
Oh, he'll be very easy to find. Did you have a problem with that, Orthos?
No, it's he just had not considered Hosier in these talks, but perhaps it is for the best that he comes.
Gorthos thinking back to the conversation that they just had with Ivori about how they had gotten a couple of people together to make like a little fucking a little party like Gorthos usually did, and then one of them exploded.
What?
Gorthos will come with you.
You sure?
Yes.
From the sound of things, you already asked Ivori a lot of things, so maybe you're trying to give everyone some space to ask their own things?
Yes. There's a lot that was talked about, and there's a lot to say, but it can wait a little bit.
Well then, if that's the case, Pika goes over to where Aga is before throwing what appears to be a blanket over them on top of where Orion is. As they throw a blanket out over top of them, they climb up onto Orion. Orion slightly giving a growl as they do so. When they do, they bring something out from their bag on their waist. They touch Aga with it, and Aga disappears. It's okay.
What did you do?
She pulls out one of Clarity's cards.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
She had to give us something for rent.
I guess that's very fair. You will find the bedrooms upstairs, please.
Oh no, I'm going.
Oh. Okay.
You could also drop her off in one of the rooms.
Yes.
Or did you have a very specific reason why you bottled your friend?
So they don't go away from me. To be fair, I'd bottle up Domrin if this worked on him.
Would they be rested in there?
Mm-hmm. From what I've been told.
Oh.
They seem to come out of here without any sort of fatigue or anything on them. I think this is the best place for them to rest.
I see. So then where do you plan to go, Miss Pika?
I keep saying it with all of you.
Oh.
I see.
Okay.
And I know that whenever Aga wakes up, she will not be going with all of you, so this is the only way I'll know where she's at.
That is very fair.
All right.
Whirl.
Starting to think there was so many more reasons than I knew to sever the connection we had.
Look, I was not like this before, Ronan. We would have potentially had great times, but we both were promised to another.
No
Sort of godly bond could hold on to us.
I'm going.
I understand, Ronan. She tries to grab onto you. But I understand.
She was just looking at Obra the whole time. She's like, Obra.
Obra just like pushes her away as like that now. And then walks after Ronan.
That's my idiot himbo. No one else's.
As you can see, the fish of love is very potent.
Mm-hmm. Were they your first?
Technically. Yes, technically.
Works so well.
Mm-hmm.
So Marco and
He turned-
Gorthos,
he-
you guys are one to head off into Castletown.
He leaves for 20 minutes.
Let's go to Castletown.
Oh, hold on.
There you go, perfect.
There we go. Perfect.
This will look great at night.
Yeah.
I
That
need-
fixed the problem.
I
This
need a
will
minute. I'll
fix
be
it.
right back. I'm
This'll-
sorry.
This will fix the issue.
No problem, no problem.
I don't look like half of someone that crawled out of the black market. What do you mean?
As those two leave, we would find that Polo, you, Pika, and the others would be grabbing onto the remainder of all of the rice balls that are here.
Yeah.
As you do, you guys all get ready and set yourselves forth going into the next area, following after Ronan and Obra. As all of you would return to the area of the Expanse, each of you stepping through would find the same thing I told the others about. The wake up juice came with us. Get out of here, wake up juice. You find that whenever you guys head into here, you get the same thing as the others. You find that both Argo and Skull Kid at this point seem to be kind of relaxing next to the Expanse. Like they're just kind of
Now
sitting there.
They're just talking to it now.
Do you think they can hear us if they're in there? If anything alive is in there? Do you think we want them to hear us?
The whole
Do you
lot to
think-
sacrifice.
Do you think that when people say they hear the voice of God, it's actually just people shit talking in the Expanse?
I can find out.
Their voice just goes to a random place. It's heard by a random person.
Cannot wait until we get into 5-DARP Season 2 and I just have the players standing around for a second and they just hear, do you think that people actually are in there or they're just...
Just take note of anytime something really dumb and menial is thrown to the Expanse, and then just out of nowhere mention, oh yeah, you see like a can of soup fall from the sky.
I should just have things dropping in and everything. Like 2 years from now, whenever we get to fucking NetNavi 3, I just have like fucking
Jesus.
a Skull Kid dropping.
Magic Frog jumps in the hole and Evelyn catches him.
Skullkid.exe.
Fucking Magic Frog jumps in the hole.
Oh, jeez.
Evelyn throws a Pokeball at it. Little does Evelyn know that fucking they just taught a Magic Frog, the greatest bit of magic of all time, how to capture people. Anyway,
Yup.
God.
you guys all make your way to the Expanse. As you do, you guys are mostly told where to go from Z, which will be making your way up into the areas above and going into the mines just ahead from where everybody is. It takes a bit for each of you to make your way up the long bridges along the sides of the areas here, but eventually you guys do make your way into the mines themselves. Upon stepping out into them, you guys see just about everything that I had said before. You see that both Forrest and Callity are over by one of the entrances, just kind of like checking their way in, looking about at it. There are several spirits seemingly zooming around. Both Ellen and Riva are over in the corners going through their wares. You guys even will note, just like the others would, that both Gru and Stu are over in this area doing their thing, making the world safe. Finally, you guys do see at the very end of everything what appears to be a figure standing in front of the area just beyond the bridge. There is your target over there, locked on. Shoot him.
Bang. They're dead.
Do you guys want to do anything before making your way over toward Ivori? Do you guys want to go straight to Ivori?
I have nothing specific.
Yeah, nothing specific here.
Okay. As the two of you, with your various pals, wander your way across from where you are, you will find Polo. As you pass under this area, you would find that looking up and above you, there is a strange smell, seemingly wafting from the top and kind of all around in this place. You can smell the scent of a monster in the area. You're not entirely sure what it is. You've never really smelled a monster like this, and it's almost like the smell is kind of wafting. It is very present all over, though. If Gorthos was here, he would most likely tell you about this being connected with that veil stuff that he hit it, but you guys are way too tiny for you guys to have to worry about that. Also, it was recently cut.
Yeah.
But you do sense the presence of a monster about.
Odd. I sense the presence of a monster. Its scent is also quite prevalent, but I do not... Well, I don't see one immediately, but it is everywhere.
That might confirm what that is, then. There's some kind of a weird, flappy, dark net thingy or something really high above us. And it seems to grow despite how much they cut it back.
Oh.
They've been calling it some kind of veil or something. It's coming from deep down below.
From below?
Mm-hmm. They said it might be some kind of a fungus or mold or something growing from way down there, but some people are looking at it as if it might be skin or something. It's very weird.
Marco's not here.
God dang it. I can't say mold in this game.
Mold where?
Where? Jumps into the darkness.
Jumps into the expanse. Space mold!
What have they tried to do to remedy this, potentially?
They find it way too interesting to do really much of anything with it. They've thrown some of it into the expanse.
Of course they have.
But mostly it just seems to keep growing back.
Well, if they've found it relatively harmless, albeit very pungent, I guess it is not something we need to worry too much right now in the immediate.
One of the spirits keeps throwing fertilizer and rotten food and sometimes not rotten food down into the expanse to try to either get it to grow faster or grow slower. They say that they either want it to die or want it to show itself.
There's just that thing of like, she just heard, oh yeah, we were just trying to get rid of it. But then we throw fertilizer and shit, and her eyes just narrow, unimpressed, just like...
They keep saying they either want it to die or they want it to show itself more. I don't really know what's going on. I try not to really talk with them too much. You guys know them though. It's the one from Castletown. The one that taught Galen how to do the watery stuff.
Miss Pomar.
She's been throwing all kinds of food and different kinds of stuff down there. Mostly just things that are left over from everybody here, or again, fertilizers and things. They're thinking that they're either going to poison it and kill it, or they're going to make it grow exponentially. Every time they talk like that, though, I leave this place. I don't like being here.
If it functions like any normal fungus that you could find in the forest, which, I mean, it could be unlikely, but it's the only thing I can base my assumptions off of, they are quite hardy and very adaptable and will take literally anything to latch onto. But, depending on how long it's been here, and it hasn't shown itself now, it's,
It's mostly just been keeping itself into the dark corners of everything. That's why they tell us not to fly too high, because it's really hard to see, even if you know it's there. Whenever they cut it, it turns into kind of like this black silken stuff, but whenever it's out, you can't even really see it.
Have they tried consuming it?
I'm sure one of them has.
Silken. We can probably ask them more about it, but if everything they've done to quell it or expand it has kind of met little result, then, well, I certainly can't think of anything we can do about it.
Well, other than that, I found something very interesting about what was just said. Apparently both of Galen's teachers are here. I cannot wait to talk to them and tell them that magic, it doesn't work that way.
Hell yeah.
I would love to accompany you in that aspect, Miss Obra. Ever since Galen had divulged to me certain things about how he taught magic and the horrifying implications of all those many, many things, I have had words.
I can just point off to Ronan and be like, there.
Yeah.
Never hurt him.
I'll be your living proof.
I never did anything to Ronan that he didn't want.
True.
Based on what Brother Kuro and he have told me as well,
Hello.
If neither of them have any questions for their grandmother, I certainly do. If she doesn't kill me on the spot.
I don't think that she will. The big thing with Grandma is that she is, indifferent.
Doesn't like anybody.
She's indifferent to everyone and acts like we all do not exist. Until she needs something of us, and then she orders us to do things we want. Or that she wants us to do. The last time she talked to me, she told me to dig up mud.
And if you choose not to do it?
I never have tried.
Well then.
All I know is that even the Iron Knuckles usually listen to her.
Well. And how old did you say your grandmother is?
Yep.
Well, there's a first time for everything. Let us go. There's the first time to tell her no. Let us go. Let us hurt her ego in two ways, Miss Obra. Just grab Obra's hand, like, let's go ruin an old lady's day.
Hi, hello, how you doing? No.
I can't wait for her to be like, okay.
You guys,
yeah, all right.
You guys make your way to the other side. As you do, you see that Ivori has turned to meet all of you. Having either heard you guys speaking or sensed you or most likely heard you or just maybe looked over at any point.
In this massive cavern. Yeah, I think she probably heard every single word we said.
It's actually not that echoey. Whatever this veil seems to be doing, it's really doing really well for sound dampening.
Huh.
To get some of that shit myself.
Good recording studio.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, this whole place is a fucking studio. The acoustics are great.
You are decently sure that there has been less echo in here than there have been in like Hyrule Castle.
Man.
Get yourself some
Moles today. I was cursed as Polo. My brain was like, no. No.
Get yourself some fucking mole, boy. As each of you
does not care.
As each of you make your way over to Ivori, she does seem to stand before each of you, her arms put in front of her, before giving a bit of a not a dark look, but definitely a more of a mysterious, like I'm a mysterious evil lady. Don't listen to anything that happened in the last thing. I kill people. You guys don't know shit.
Don't listen to whatever Gorthos said about me. It's not probably true. I promise.
Well, it has been some time. I thought you would have made your way here the first time Gorthos had made their way. Though it seems that you wish to speak to me without him.
Not that we didn't want him here, just that he chose to go somewhere else.
He's probably still reeling from some of the talk we had. Other than that, though, what can I do the pleasure? I'm sure each of you have questions about the localized storm that I threw over you.
Not really.
We don't have questions about whatever you said, though. I'm really curious about whatever that was. And I didn't even see it or know it existed until that moment that you just said that. All right.
We had questions about your time in the Lost Woods, actually. Or at least I did. I don't know if anyone else here has any different questions related to other things, but that's the question I have.
Which time?
The time that you found this one, Jason motions to Jason, and wearing this one, Matilda's clothes in the Lost Woods.
She raises an eyebrow.
Is that wait?
Wrong bird woman.
Wrong bird woman.
I think it was the other bird woman in the forest.
Oh yeah, no, that was the other. I'm sorry. That's
That's racist.
that's racist.
You do know that you do know from the vision you got from that bird woman that whatever it was that they did or that they seemed to call also seemed to call down one of those two.
Well, something you did put them there during that huge battle thing that happened. And I was hoping you could tell us what that's all about.
Well, first of all, welcome, princess. Second of all, I have no idea what you're talking about. But if you can explain how you think that it relays to me, then I can maybe throw some ideas your
God,
way.
it was like 7 years ago when we fucking learned about this. I
It was
hardly remember the
it was 2
conversation.
months ago. It was actually 2 days ago, but
97 years ago.
we round up. But the main thing you know from the vision given to you by the forest sage is that while the large battle was happening, a figure you guys think to be Ivori got onto the forest temple whenever they seemed to call down some kind of large-scale magic that looked as if it destroyed the Great Deku Tree, but also you know that with that large-scale magic and the thing that destroyed the Great Deku Tree, what you think to be probably one of many different Jason faces seem to appear in whatever that was. As
he will just yeah, go on.
As that is being said, the forest sage then would have found them and tried to get them around the forest as well as they could. They ended up getting the master sword, yada yada yada, blah blah blah.
He will explain all of that to her.
All right. This has been quite a long time for me. In fact, there have been many different things that have happened in between. 1,000 years is 1,000 years, after all. But... Well, an easy way to put this. Neither of you seem to have one on you, but I do recognize the telltale signs of the magic of the medallions about you.
We did find a couple.
I believe whenever Gorthos was here, he had one of them. Most likely the one that small Kokiri had once used. They had quite a number of strong individuals, some of the strongest the races of Hyrule have ever seen in that battle. Some of the bravest as well, and definitely some of the most stupid. But each of them had their own call to fame, and quite a lot of them had these powerful medallions that they seemed to be able to wield. When they were doing such things, as they were fighting for their lives inside of that forest, I was able to tap into that magic. I was able to call a large-scale attack from the top of the forest temple, taking in the energy of the forest around me to deliver a blow that most likely aided in myself and one of my compatriots' escapes. If not for that attack, several things would have went down, but also, if not for that attack, I believe I might have caused more harm than good. That being said, the magic of that forest is so vast and strange that, given the amount of magic I pulled in, anything could have happened. you say that he motions over toward Jason. This one had appeared there dressed as that one. There possibly could have been any number of reasons why. Maybe I threw them in from some random point in time thanks to the magic surrounding there. Maybe they went into the forest at any given time and lost themselves. It could be pure coincidence, though I doubt it. Nothing is coincidence if you really think on it. I wish I could tell you that I knew exactly what was going on, but I do not. Perhaps if there's more information to be gained, I can either recreate or at least reminisce on what I might have done. Oh wow, she really does just talk around in circles, huh? That was August's 3rd most annoying trait you had. I see.
Well, I mean, we tried doing a little like magic, like scry thing in the woods using this, and he pulls out the ocarina.
The Ocarina of Time. A very powerful artifact.
Yeah, we borrowed one. But
there's a slight confusion going across her face, but you continue so she doesn't really mention anything from it. It's like we borrowed one of them, one of many.
But it all it did was show us what I just described to you. Would you be able to maybe use this or something to help with figuring it out? Or
I could definitely try. I believe
also,
one of you. Yes.
I was gonna say he looks over to Jason, and I have already asked you for a reminder on this.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to ask for it again.
No problem.
But what is it that Jason's? She mentioned that this used to be hers, in her possession, right?
Yes.
Did she say anything about whether or not she wanted to like hold it again, or like she wanted it back, or?
She's never
anything
mentioned
like
anything about wanting it back. From what you do remember of the conversation, whenever she had it, she apparently got it from her dad.
Yes.
And whenever she had left the forest, or during her escapades in the forest, it was seemingly removed from her by the Skull Kid.
Okay.
Or at least something at that point. She had no idea what exactly it was, but definitely. I also made a slight mistake. She did not gain the Master Sword in the past. She actually had gained the Master Sword when she came here, potentially, if that is any way what actually gone down with her.
Okay.
That being said,
she's also her own unreliable narrator.
Exactly. It's like this is all to her knowledge of everything. As you do pull out the Ocarina of Time, though, you do see that her eyes are locked onto it.
Do you want to hold on to it?
I mean, you had returned it. You're wishing to bring it back to the goddess of time, correct?
Yeah, but there's nothing saying that you can't like hold on to it until we do.
Well, yes, I would love to hold on to it for a while if that is fine with you.
Maybe holding on to it will jog your memory or something.
I could definitely try.
Hand it over to her.
You hand the ocarina to them. As they look it over, they do seem to, for a moment, bring it toward them. For both you and Pika, both of you, for a moment, feel a strange sense of wind or a strange tingle in the air as the both of you guys note Pika as she's already just looking over toward where Ivori is. She's just like kind of like still in the taunting mode. However, she just immediately 180s, looks back toward Jason like, what? As Jason holds on to it, she brings the ocarina to her lips and lets out a single note from it. A long continual note that, out of everything inside this place, actually does seem to echo throughout the caves. She doesn't play a song, she just plays a single note, and at which point she gives it a smile. All right. I can't practice with it. If I do, then magic will happen. I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine.
It seems that artifact is very close with you. I was going to say if you let me look over the artifact, then I probably can figure something out. Though, from what I have been told, you have a small kokiri with you that is rather good at scrying, correct?
Yeah.
If I were to have him with me, I might be able to do a bit more. He seems to be a lot more invested in things of that nature. I have a simple scrying spell myself, but it is not one that can be assisted through any kinds of means. Also, if we're talking about visions, then I believe that if there's any other ways you can aid me, then that would be preferable. But we will get down to the bottom of this. If there was something that I did that led to whatever this is, then then we will find some way to lead into either correcting it or doing it if it needs to be done or whatever.
Okay.
Is that everything that you would all like to speak to me about? There's a rather large group. I doubt that is the case. Oh, we would like to have one of our carriages back, please. All right, here. She walks over, hands a toy car size thing over to Kuro. That is half of what I meant.
Can you make it big again?
Oh, definitely. She raises her hand.
Not
I'm
right
not
here.
holding it.
Not right here. We want to take it to Lon Lon, and then he and her can drive it all the way to the desert.
You have a lot of demands, but all right.
I mean, if you wouldn't mind.
She brings her feathered wing over toward it. As she does, she touches the carriage once more. A slight glow goes about it. Upon doing so, you have 1 hour until it returns to its former size. Yes, that would work. Yes, thank you very much. Take it wherever it needs to go, and be sure to bring something to shrug along with it. I would offer to just have it propel itself, but you get more looks than anything if that is the case, and you have all those nice horses. It would be such a bother for them not to have any work. Yes, thank you very much. Anything else?
Ronan, did you want to say anything?
No, I was just going to say I don't have anything else.
There might not be much to it, but this artifact here,
As she pulls out the eyeball, glass ball, dad.
This is an artifact of my father's. Whether it's made of a remnant of his body, I'm not quite sure, but it has some properties that allow me to experience visions of the future. A flexible future, I guess is a good way to put it. A future not set in stone.
On Teresa's eye.
Yes. At least it doesn't feel.
Just like gives it a little light squish.
It doesn't feel like an eyeball.
Don't worry, it's glass.
Yes.
That is his eye, however.
Oh.
You might not have noticed this, depending on how often you were around your father, but he had that as a replacement.
He passed not long after my birth.
I felt it. Not to mention that there was a severe lack of presence going over in Death Mountain all the time. That being said, what you hold there is a very interesting artifact. In fact, it may be the answer to some of your problems.
Oh?
Antares was I don't want to say he was more cautious than most demons with his power. That eye that you hold in your hand is mostly a way for him to check for unfavorable outcomes in his life. But it was not the only thing that he used it for. It was just the most prominent. What he would do is he would consult the eye by pouring his magic into it, at which point the eye would show him what would be happening with him, the next important event that he would either need to avoid or allow to happen, whether he had to work for it or not. If it was a favorable thing, he had to make sure he did everything possible to get exactly what it was. If it was not favorable, he had to make sure that he was not around for it to have an outcome that would happen. It was not infallible. There were ways that certain individuals, myself included, could have, I won't say tricked it, but allowed ourselves to not be caught in its gaze. That being said, if you're looking for something that will give you some kind of a knowledge of events to come, that is the best thing you can even have. It may, again, not be infallible, but the one thing we know looks over toward where Jason is. Something about that one and some kind of interaction with either myself or one of the medallions had made them go from wherever it is they originated into the forest 1,000 years ago. Now, that event has obviously already happened. But when did it happen and why? If it is still something that is yet to come, we might be able to consult Antares's eye. If it is something that happened far before, perhaps that Jason is older than 1,000 years, which I can say that we weren't always the most vigilant, but I doubt we would have passed over a hero, especially with Gorthos's want to be known by every hero across the land. Maybe it was during one of the times he died, I don't know. Either way, I can only assume that if myself and Gorthos weren't incompetent, then the event hasn't happened yet. If we can somehow get Antares's eye to tell us more or show us more, then perhaps we can figure it out. That being said, it has limits. Antares poured his own life force, his magic, into that item you hold. It is very powerful, but depending on how much we use it, or depending on how much it aids you, that power could very well be spent easily enough. You could always refill it. I'm sure that would be something simple for those with access to Gorthos's many different areas of being. But it will never be full of your father's energy after it is used. It is a gift.
It seems he poured his remaining energy into numerous artifacts.
He was, again, very cautious among demons of his power. Cautious enough that, honestly, with what Gorthos has just told me, perhaps I should have listened to him more. I'd always assumed he was just a young upstart demon trying to gain power in different realms, trying to bring back some kind of a legacy that was not one to be brought back. But according to Gorthos, that legacy is being brought back without him. The legacy of hatred that the demon race has claimed to from far beyond. I heard that your brother is going about calling himself a new demon king.
Yes.
He definitely got that from his father.
I had only ever heard the title of general used on my father, never the title of king. I knew that he had subordinates and worshippers to an extent, but I never knew much else, only what Mother recounted to me as I was growing up, and
he would speak to me
bits
several times of his want for the title. His want for demonkind to be able to fall under one banner. I doubted that he was ever going to get it done, and it does seem that I'm right, but because of him laying himself into more of these artifacts all around, including one that is extremely annoying, very close to my home here. I understand that him doing those things has been for the future. If not the future of all demonkind, then at least the future of his children.
We can, we plan to do something about that very annoying artifact, if you are alright with that.
We will see. The doors to that place will not open for quite a while. I had asked you all before whether or not that was somewhere you wished to go, but you were being very cagey with me.
Well, I mean, I wasn't quite sure.
I did just set an entire group of my own people to blaze with a large-scale thunderstorm.
Well, it's also because depending on the sort of magical artifact that it was, you might want it.
I would rather it be thrown into the expanse, to be honest.
I don't like that either.
She shrugs. Artifacts that are too powerful are ones that gain less fame and more infamy. It is only a matter of time until something like that falls into the hands of someone very egregious. At least you didn't do anything stupid and make something immortal. Either way.
There's a little bit of like the... there's like the finger up and then... I mean, that's gone now.
How much...
It's gone now, miss! It's gone now! It's gone now!
How much time did you say you spent with your father?
None.
Alright, I can trust you then.
Unless we talk about his eye, I have spent a good little bit with it, but I'm not quite yet proficient in tapping into its abilities. And I had hoped that maybe if you had been a long-time acquaintance or even a friend of his, that maybe he had let you know some things. But if he was as cautious as you say he was, then he probably did.
He was cautious for a demon. That isn't saying much.
Oh.
He was a acquaintance, yes. One that, again, I always assumed was just a young upstart, but definitely had his charms, so I do know some things if you have questions.
Do you know anything of his first wife?
I heard that she has also been killed.
Yes, she has.
There was a great demon lineage off to the east. One that, beyond Death Mountain, far beyond even the plains beyond it, far beyond the settlements that you could call home to the Gerudo at that level. These demons were much more, well settled. They refused to have any, they refused to give any leniency toward those who were casting them out. They always had their plans of coming back and retaking what they thought was theirs. I had a lot of influence over them in one point in my life because I had, before my brother brought me into his fold, I had once agreed with them. As one of the 4 great generals, I believed that I had a certain claim to these holy lands. Ones that I would one day retake. That is what those demons feel. The ones far to the east. They want nothing but for Hyrule's collapse. But your father thought more of them. Your father went to them open arms and tried to talk them into being less egregious with their attacks, less prominent with their power, and tried to get them to integrate differently with the people surrounding them, even if it was not in Hyrule. You could actually gain a lot of information of those from Kaladi. He is one of the guests that I have here. He is from those pack of demons.
I see.
The one you speak of, however, she was once known as the Great Demon Viper. Not for any snake-like qualities to her, but that she was sort of known to...
Adept in poison?
Yes. She was very known at it. Very known for it. To a point where to the point where their previous fling and the one before, great demons as they were, have all fallen prey to her.
Huh?
According to the information that I have, I believe even your father at one level seemed to somewhat fall prey to the poisons that had seeped their way there. I do not know in particular if it was from them, or if it was from one of her sons, or one of the many who follow her. But I do know that eventually, despite your father having fallen, that she was close behind.
Yes. She, from what I was told, she created the weapon of her own destruction.
Fitting.
She fell to my brother.
Good for him.
I think it was, even if he wishes not to admit it, I think it was his own form of justice for what he was forced to do.
The Viper of the East was extremely cruel. She did not have any love for those around them. She refused to give any lenience toward any of her enemies. Yet, out of all of them, she was the one that caught his eye, at least for a time, until he realized that her cruelty had no limits. The well could not be bottomed out, and there was nothing that he could say, unfortunately, to change her mind. Respectable in a way, but definitely just in her defeat.
Thank you for giving me what you can.
If you wish to know more about them, again, Kaladi could tell you more, but they are sort of aimless, I believe, from what I've been told. A lot of them broke up. There are only small factions of them remaining, and some of them, through their own aggressive means, have made things worse for a lot of demonkind. To a point where I believe that more than half of them probably have perished at this point. But
It is.
hopefully they will learn.
It is something we can discuss in the future. Whether it be Brother Vega or I on the throne.
I see.
But I thank you, again, for some of the information that you've been kind enough to divulge with me.
That is all I have. I'm not nearly as powerful as I used to be. I can't throw those storms out willy-nilly like I've shown to be able to. My magic only goes as far as half of Hyrule. I can't even affect things beyond a certain point anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And well, in the end, despite having not died before, I do feel the... She kind of like looks over toward her wing. I do feel as if it is inevitable. I will hate to be a skeleton.
I mean it. Your feathers are lovely.
That being said, if there's anything any of you need, information is what I can give. If I don't know it, I will learn it. Like I said, all I need to do is look at that artifact over and maybe meditate on some of my actions from those days 1,000 years ago, and I will see what I can about our time-traveling situation. If there's anything else that can go through, I will do my best.
Fight the urge to throw it into the expanse.
I do think that I could throw this into the expanse, though. Picks up Pika.
Thank you again. I will mull over this, along with Father's genuine eye.
You look a lot like her, by the way.
Huh?
Your mother.
Yes. It's quite ironic because she would say that I was looking more like my father. I think it was mostly just the horns.
There's definitely parts of him there. But they would both get a kick out of seeing you today if they could.
Thank you.
Despite how annoying they were and insistent about taking me to their dinner parties. She walks over.
I mean, Mother was a very, very good cook.
As she stands in front of the large opening in the cave, she looks back. Is that all? I will begin to meditate on my actions. Once you have taken whatever sentimentality it is from holding that object, bring it to me. Bring me the small child and perhaps even the eye later on, and we'll see what we can do. And if you're just going to sit around and complain while holding on to my previous apprentice, then go ahead and do so. But if you want to make yourself useful, I could use your power too, Sage. I might. But also, I was thinking about throwing things in the hole. The expanse. It's not a hole. There's stuff in it. It can't be a hole if there's stuff. I mean,
stuff can be in a hole.
No, it's full of it. It's all there.
Before we deviate a little too much, the other witches that are to be attending this coven, where might we find some of them?
Some of them are very reclusive. Depending on who you're looking for, I could try to call out to them. But others are with their own projects. Who are you looking for?
Well, we were looking for
just looks over at Kuro.
Rova.
Miss Rova, and we did not get her name, but she is a Poe. She is a Poe witch.
Well, I know where Rova is. She motions off to the side. You'll find just down those stairs, the first of the large tunnels off in that direction. Oh, excuse me. Would be a good position to find them. They're currently working on their fairy thing that they're doing. I'm not entirely sure what it's about, to be honest with you. They won't let me throw it in the hole. Damn it, now I said hole.
They won't let me throw it in the hole, so I don't care.
It's an expanse, it's not a hole.
It's all right.
Ivori's hole.
If you have a pool and it's just water filling a hole, you don't call it a hole anymore, you call it a pool.
You say tomato, I say a hole, because that's what it is.
It's not a hole. I don't like you. Take him out.
Throw him in the hole.
Remove them from me. Throw them in the expanse. Throw them in the hole. Fuck. I'm playing. As for a Poe witch, there are two in the vicinity. If you don't count the sword spirit, you can most likely find them patrolling around the area down toward where the darkness is creeping upwards.
Oh. All right, well.
If you knew the name, I would call out to them, but they're just over there. She points over. You see bloop and bloop.
Oh. I mean, we could converse with her and see how she's doing. I mean, she was the one that sold us the home that we reside in now from the Sage of Creation.
Oh, you're talking about her. Yes, that would be. She points over toward this one here.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be her there. She was the Sage of Creation's friend.
Roommate.
There's some hesitation.
They were
hesitation there.
roommates.
They were.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness, Oprah, they were roommates.
If you need to know anything about them, they are there. The one on the other side there, they're a little wacky, but they're also someone you could potentially get some information from if you're looking into anything to do with the stuff around here. But yes, Rova is off in that direction over there as they...
Yeah.
I guess we could inquire further on this whole mold net predicament, but it doesn't seem like there's been many answers uncovered.
Oh, the monster down below? Yes, it's very nice.
All right, the monster.
We've been calling it the Veil. It is somewhat regenerating. It grows constantly. It's a bit of a nuisance, but for the past 1,000 or so years, we've been collecting it.
Well, if it hasn't done anything in 1,000 years, I can't see it doing anything now.
Oh no, it is perfectly tame. Well, I believe it would kill any of us given the chance, but it is perfectly tame.
Sounds tame.
Very.
I believe the total aloofness was number 2.
Well,
I can't say number 1 in front of well company. It is the B word.
well,
Bitch. It was bitch.
I was not asking.
It's
I believe, are you hungry? Well, you said you're going to be meditating, and I do not think meditating should be done on an empty stomach, and, Kuro, where are those rice balls?
Oh, we have some here. As he pulls out the sack of rice balls that he has prepared for everyone, as all of you had them carry them. As he pulls it out.
She's just gonna grab a couple, and she's just like,
I genuinely believe that the exchange of information in some way, shape, or form should be exchanged and something in some way, shape, or form repaid.
You can't give rice to birds, will explode.
It's cooked right.
I was joking. I'll take it.
Yes. I do not think you should meditate on an empty stomach. It will distract you.
As they seem to look it over for a moment. I haven't had something like this in a while.
It is a recipe from the East. A very simple one, but one that I feel any person that is usually preoccupied with the many, many tasks can indulge in and not lose their focus. I find that it might be something very useful, not only for the wily adventurer, but the very studious witch.
That's where it's from.
Huh?
As she takes it. You're a little bit old for it, but it does make sense. I remember whenever I went and visited your father once, there was a tiny child that would make something similar to this for me. You are far too old for that, though.
Huh?
I'll accept it. Thank you very much.
A small child making... Do you mean my brother Hadar?
No, I don't believe it was anyone related to your father.
A small child making... I guess it could have been Modeus?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Probably not.
Either way, thank you.
Yes!
She takes it back. Oh, does this have fish in it?
Yes?
Hyrule bass.
Yes. Just step back.
Everybody huddles. Matilda falls over.
Well, we have the location of Miss Should I start calling her Grandmother Kuro?
Oh, that depends.
Ask her, see how she feels about it.
That depends on if you want her to
shall.
have an opinion of you, good or bad.
That is very, very true. I will consider it. But we know where she is, Miss Obera.
Right down the stairs over there.
Yes. Right down the stairs, right over there.
Oh, and before we make any decisions, it looks as if there's a large creature walking over toward us.
Huh?
It's Gorthos. We're going over to Gorthos. Marco and Gorthos.
Just Gorthos. Only Gorthos.
They're big.
It's the only one that matters.
They're big.
I am the screen
How about
wipe.
you get bigger and then we'll talk? They didn't mention,
you won't let
they didn't
me.
mention Hosier either if he's with you. Speaking of which, Marco and Gorthos, you guys would have made your way into the main area of Castletown. It's very easy to find Hosier. It is extremely easy to find Hosier. Where do you guys want to look
next
for
to
Hosier?
Grumpy.
Where are you guys wanting to look? It'll probably be the very first place you look. Wrong, the guards' quarters. So, as you guys make your way...
Yeah, I figured.
That's why I said it would be pretty easy.
As you guys make your way into the area you guys had gotten your adventurer's license from, you guys get over toward there. It is nighttime. However, the guards' quarters is never truly turned off. It is never gone. There's always somebody available. As you call in asking for Hosier, you would find that Hosier does eventually show themselves stepping out from the guard quarters. You find that it does take them a little bit of time to get to you, which probably means that they were donning their armor, because
sense.
they would have most likely had it off if they were resting. But if someone's asking for them, they should come out in full garb, as they would have stepped out. Yes, citizen, what can I? Hello, Marco.
Hey, Ozier. It's been a bit. This is Gorthos.
Evening.
I knew.
He knew.
You would imagine he did.
Last time you were big, but not this big.
Times change.
If it's anything like we've been seeing it, you're gonna go from here to there to there. He's like bringing his hand down to where it was Kokiri sized. Then he brought it up toward like Donu sized. Now he points to you. What's next? Are you gonna be a castle?
Oh no, not anymore. Those were a fun era though.
I don't like that you say it that way. I don't enjoy that.
Believe me, he said things that I am very afraid of him
Just
mentioning earlier. But that's not the point of why we're here.
He's telling you not to worry about it.
Then why is it the two of you are here?
Because I thought it would be only fair to ask you to come with us to find out more about the stage of life and what happened with your brother.
There have been progress. There's a lot. I'm still distressingly little.
What kind of progress could there have been? We know who did it, right?
We know who did it, and he's messed with my family.
He may or may not be someone Gorthos knew at an past age.
He's attacked Lon Lon.
Yes.
As I have mentioned to you all, I have an extended leave that I can take at any point. If you truly know where he's at, then let's go and kill him.
It may not be that simple.
He is apparently a sage after all, so...
He meant more the Stalthos part of that, but yes, that too.
At the moment we are...
He is quite conniving. It seems Gorthos is not the first undead to harness more positive powers. Though he should not be surprised by this. The wood is ever full of strange and contradictory things.
Well, I don't really... I don't have any expertise in tracking Stall.
Unfortunately, he has magic that protects him from being found as well. But
But
thankfully,
What are we
we've
doing
gotten
here?
getting you and taking you with us to Spectacle Rock, where we are conversing with the witches.
a large congregation of magical and maddening individuals.
If there's anybody there that can shine some light on how we can deal with this dude, and hopefully it not be, I don't know, sacrilegious to fight a sage,
It is not.
yeah.
You people,
Other than that.
you people seem to forget very easily what sages have been like in the past.
It's
But
just
anyway,
surprising that so many of them have been corrupted, okay?
It really shouldn't. But what does Gorthos know? What matters is that this one can and will be found.
According to the necromancer guy you guys picked up, they were specifically going after sages to corrupt, so it doesn't seem that out of the ordinary at all.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just remembering.
Ronan's next.
This, yeah, sure, buddy.
Ain't no fucking
he's the
sage.
Oh yeah, he's
minstrel.
an oracle. My bad.
You get things mixed
We have,
up.
we have to corrupt oracles now too.
Mhm.
Ages of seasons.
Nah.
At any rate, we have the ability to track him down. And it's only right that you be there.
Well, I have been preparing for a journey. It has been several weeks since I've had everything packed and ready, but I have been preparing for whenever you would come and get me for such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the fact that we're going into things without any information.
This will change.
I understand that. It's just... I took an oath to protect Hyrule, and I only have so long until I'm... My extended leave can only last so long.
Your work will be protecting Hyrule in its own way. One can't simply stand guard and wait for trouble to find it forever. Yes?
I guess it's hard for me to consider it work for Hyrule whenever for me it's not that. For me, it is most definitely work for revenge.
It
Two birds with one stone is how I look at it.
By the way, we're gonna go kill a bird.
By the way, we also are going to kill a giant rock.
It's on the
And
way.
What do you need? What do you need? Picks?
The bird.
Oh,
The
what?
bird the size of a mountain.
what do you need? Picks?
Perhaps we should fill you in on a lot of things that we're going to be getting up to in the coming days.
Let me
And
gather
when
my
we do
things.
mean days.
Let me gather my things, and if there's a time that I feel I need to return, I will return.
Of course.
You are free to do as you please.
They step back inside. You guys note that around 10 minutes or so pass before they do return, having brought with them, from what you can see, a shiny little bag that seems to be along their waist. It seems to give off a bright, almost jewel-like consistency. As he steps out with it, he looks back to each of you. I believe I'm ready then.
All right, then. I guess we head back to the house and teleport over to the Spectacle Rock.
You will get used to our method of travel soon enough. Try not to let it jar you too much.
You have told me of it several times, but I suppose let's actually test it out.
Mm-hmm. And if there's ever anything you need to, like, pick up at Lon Lon, you can do that too. If you ever wanted to see the majesty that is the Zoro's domain, that's also something you can do.
You would still argue with Gora to this very day that it should have been made of gold.
You guys return, going out and into your guys' place and taking the boy all the way over into Spectacle Rock. Upon you guys getting there and getting up to the area where the others would start to see you, before we go into that, you do find that stepping out onto the bridge, before we go any further, because this is something somewhat unintentionally something I need to roll for.
Oh.
What? Oh no.
There is something that could happen here that is very interesting.
What could happen here?
That is a natural one. Don't worry about it.
Didn't that cause
Great
something to
job.
happen?
Great job, Hosier. You did it.
No! No, let him give him another chance.
Maybe later.
He never gets to go outside. Give him one freebie.
Maybe
He doesn't
later.
get to do anything.
Maybe later. That's a natural one. That's so funny.
What a dumb bastard. Anyway.
Dear, no, my boy.
You guys make your way across the bridge. Gorthos, you duck as you do.
Yep.
Until you get over to the other side. You guys see that Gorthos has made their way back over with Marco and Hosier. At the moment, you see that Gorthos, you see that Ivori is still just standing in front of the large opening that would lead further in toward where your treasury is.
Mm,
Don't even think about it. I can stop every one of you.
it's right there, though.
I may be weaker than I once was, but I was as good as I once will.
Keep showing.
Sure said words
Checks
there,
out
man.
to me.
Mm-hmm. It does check out.
I've been talking a lot. Leave me alone. I have a beat. It's hard. It's hard.
You're also very antisocial.
Leave me alone.
He missed her.
This does
Now
go.
then.
This does go to the antisocial thing. Leave me alone.
Family. Now then.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, welcome.
He
Oh, is
goes
there-
over
oh.
toward where Jason and Matilda is. He gives a bow to Matilda. Princess. You?
This guy?
I'm just kidding. Your looks to Jason. Hosier, it's been so long. Mm.
It's like a gravelly mouthwash, isn't it? Mm. Smooth. Now then.
Hosier and Marco get there. We'll say that you guys fill in Gorthos and Marco over the things you guys had talked about.
Mm.
Just basically bringing Ivori some artifacts to see if they can use them to get back into whatever state of mind they were in, or whatever they could have done all those years ago with their magic spell. That is mentioned that it might have something to do with the 2 medallions you guys are holding, as several of the heroes from back then had those medallions, and it was their power that they ended up taking charge of in order to cast the large scale spell that they had done in that place. So whether or not you guys want to potentially leave those with her at some point could also be something. But you guys are also been told about the 2 different witches you guys could potentially go and talk to about different things. Would you guys like to go as a group toward one of those directions? Do you guys want to do something else? What's going down with everybody?
Well, you've all been busy.
A bit, yes.
So which old lady?
Hosier?
So which old lady are we gonna go piss off first?
I don't know what we could possibly ask Miss Pomar, aside from maybe ask her a couple more questions about the home, but that can wait.
You really want to speak with the grandmother, don't you?
I'm actually very interested in talking with them. As Jason looks over, that home is interesting and all, but I'd also like to ask some questions about Shefos if I can.
Oh yes, of course.
Especially with all of the strange things that goes on with them.
Yes.
The fact that she did not divulge any of it when she sold us the home, didn't even give us so much as her name.
At the very same time, though, since they're dead, maybe it'd be easier to talk with them than the one that's alive and possibly needing rest at some point.
Even the dead need rest now and then.
You're
Which they
saying we
would
should
hate to
talk
admit it.
to the one that is alive first, because we never know when they're going to keel over or when they're going to go for a sleep.
That is true.
Hosier, that's a
Probably would
perfect
be.
way to put it, Hosier. We should definitely go and do what Hosier says, Hosier.
Yes, yes, Matilda, we are fully aware.
I don't have any in particular.
That's fine. We weren't expecting you to.
Yes, this was not part of the expectation.
We would never do that to you, Osier.
Oh, you're laying it a little bit thick there.
She's just letting everyone know that she definitely knows his name.
To be honest, this curiosity of the house notwithstanding, there are quite a few people here worth speaking with. They all have their secrets. You feel as few are willing to divulge them all, especially to us. But
if it
the
helps
best
out at all,
case
I
scenario-
do have a suggestion.
Mhm.
You see Sierra go over toward Polo. Most likely we should talk to this one's grandma first, since the two of us have to get out of here within 40 minutes.
That is true. We don't have. We are a bit pressed for time.
Eventually,
if-
eventually that carriage is going to turn into a big carriage inside of his hand.
And
What?
Oh.
we are on a bit of a timer, and
Did it get bigger? It's like slowly getting bigger in his hand.
No.
Let us go speak with let's go speak to the grandmother, Rich.
yes.
Because it would be such a shame if we had to not do that and not go talk to them.
You
Mr.
can
Kuro,
stay here.
if you wish to
once.
avoid it, it is perfectly fine. But
After seeing what happened at the Demon Manor with that mud, I have questions as well.
Yes, and also Lodlon with that mud.
then let us make our way post haste, since maybe she also might have a general idea of what is going on in the desert with the chieftain.
She most definitely does, since she ran off as much as she did. Honestly, I would not put it past her to know every secret of everywhere in this place.
That's quite possible, yes.
Well, we can see what we can to get it all out of her.
Orthos is a very confusing and open book about his things.
You guys step down the stairs. Upon doing so, you guys make your way to the first cave, once again, that you were told about. As you do, you find that inside of said cave, there appears to be two people. Looking inside, you see what appears to be a small woman that is just sort of standing about where this large cauldron is, though it is not filled with water or any kind of thing that you've seemed to think of it. Gorthos, since you are as tall as you are, as well as you, Ronan, you both would see that it appears to be full of some kind of a brown and black sludge that seems to be stirring about it. The other person is this person. And we now made it to the final one of the original, the final one of the original ones.
Oh my god!
This is the original art that Lindo had made for the other ghost. Gave them a large witch hat, and I'm like, we could probably use without the witch hat. But then as soon as we were talking about witch stuff, I'm like, I have to use it. I'm gonna throw the witch hat in here.
I do love it though. It's very silly and in almost a little bit impractical for a Zora, but I love it though.
As you guys step in, you see that the small woman seems to just be looking about the area. Every now and then they seem to chuck in something random into the pot that is being stirred by the large red Zora that is circling it. Upon you guys entering, the Zora does seem to clock you coming in, as if, again, most of them have different kinds of battle training and whatnot. They would be rather applicable to noticing anything moving about them. However, the small woman does not seem to notice you guys at all, as she steps a couple of steps over, looks at the bubbling black and brown sludge, and then just seems to bend over and pick up a couple of rocks and throw in it before nodding as if they did something great.
Sometimes I wish I had taken up the mantle of a witch so I could throw random things to a pot and nod confidently.
As you see that whenever Obra sees this, similar to how they saw with Argo using the plants, they seem to very much disapprove of, just fucking throwing rocks inside of the thing. It's like, no, it's monster parts. You gotta use monster parts. Like, nah, we don't do that here.
Somewhere Aga is also screaming in the card because she was also very upset. What do you mean you just throw sticks and leaves in there?
Exactly.
You can't just use anything you find on the floor. Fucking watch me, bitch.
I love it.
I'll do it again.
She does this. Out of all these witches, she does this.
No,
She's like,
she
"Yeah,
would.
fuck it." She's like, fuck
She
it.
fucking would. She don't give a fuck.
As she does this, and as she notices the bubbling continue to stay exactly the way it was, she nods again as if she did something grand. I stirred it for another 3 minutes. Be sure to go counterclockwise at least twice during the time, no more than 3. Continue going. Maybe I should get someone else to stir. You are not stirring fast enough.
Good evening.
She looks back. As she does, you see her eyes lock onto Kuro, and then immediately toward where the voice came from, toward Polo. She does not seem to bat an eye toward the giant demonic skeleton, the larger than life Zora, the hero holding the master sword.
Hosier.
The princess.
Literally no one.
She just kind of like, her eyes go over toward where the music, or not music, the voice came from. Yes, can I help you?
Well met.
Same. She
my
turns
name
away.
This sounds right.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun.
Did you do it 4
conversation.
times? I said 3. I know you can speak.
Good evening, Grandma.
Well,
She had like a little stern look on her face, but she's still nervous. She just has her hands in front of her, like in little fists, like,
She steps out. As she does start stepping out, she looks to each of you, taking little steps with her cane before getting around the center where all of you are. As she does, she looks to you, Polo.
She's trying to like do her best to stand firm, just like.
She goes over to you. She looks over to Kuro. She turns to Kuro, reaches out toward him, and seems to grab at a loose strand of hair on the side of him and pull, breaking it instantly. Ah! That's just what we need. She goes and tosses the long red hair into the pot.
Yeah, I can see why you didn't want to come.
She said hello, Grandma!
Yeah, it's just that like.
I heard her. Your hair's not doing anything, Kuro. As she turns back.
oh, Marco pulls out one of his hairs. How about mine?
Finally, someone who understands. She takes one of your hairs and then turns back.
Yep.
Throws it in the pot.
Fascinating.
It's disappearing beneath the muck rather easily.
Good. He nods like he understands. So anyway,
the desert is in danger.
When is the desert not in danger? When is all of Hyrule not in danger?
well, yes, it's currently in danger by many different sources that we would like some knowledge about, and your
Then
Which
ask
the,
your
knowledge of.
questions.
okay then.
What? Do I have to give you permission for everything?
Well, we don't. All right, fine. So, what do you think a stall would do with fairy mud?
The same thing I'm doing.
What
And
are
what
you
are you
doing?
doing?
I'm making a golem
Why?
Oh.
because I can.
Yeah, that tracks.
She
Feels
looks
like
back.
the
She
vibe
looks
of
back over to
everyone
you.
here.
She looks back over to you. I don't know what all you've seen, but I can only assume you've seen those puppet-like creatures that have been going
Yes,
around.
yes, made by the Sage of Life.
I've realized that somebody was going around and clearing out the fairies and the fairy fountains. So I had Koro here and his brother come and make one of them completely empty of its magical mud. As we've done that, I carried every bit of it back as much as I can, and I've been experimenting on it ever since. Unfortunately, I've got nothing. Every time I try to get it to harden, it either becomes too hard and unusable, or it just goes back to muck after a couple of hours.
How skulls have been using it makes them look as if they are normal, living, breathing creatures. Perhaps you are missing a key component, a frame, perhaps.
I'm missing something, that's for fucking sure. I just now looked over and saw that our September goal is halfway filled, and I'm like, oh, when did that happen? 2 hours ago, fake person gave $260.
Oh,
And I didn't realize. And I believe it was going to the fund, which is the Zelda fund. But thank you very much. We were talking about it as the big fun things currently are being used to make sure that I pay all the artists for the 5 DARP stuff and also for the leftover cage stuff that I haven't paid them for. And currently that is going to go to us having a stream for making some Yu-Gi-Oh cards if people want to. So that's gonna be super fun. We'll do that sometime this week. We'll see how things go. But until then, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Sorry I missed it. I just now looked over. I've been sassy grandmas. Let me be sassy grandmas.
We love our
Grandma
sassy grandma.
It's sassy grandma con. I need to make sure I'm sassy grandma con. By the way, in like a couple of weeks, my alarm's gonna go off for Himbo Con. I'm not sure if we're still gonna be in this con or not during that time. We'll see. Anyway,
We'll figure it out.
but
We'll see where we are.
as she looks back to him, as she looks back to each of you, I can only assume it must have something to do with their spirituality. Though, to be fair, that is relatively difficult for me to ascertain. It could just be their life force or any kind of thing that could go with that. That being said, young lady, you're a demon, are you not? The horns?
Only half.
Only half.
Only half. But, if you are in need of a demon and I could help you, my blood is still quite potent.
I don't work with blood. I could use some of your skin, though. Nothing
I
like
just need all of it.
nothing like a humongous chunk or anything, but like if you'd allow me to, I'd like to take some of your dead skin. You are my granddaughter, right? You're not going to refuse, are you? As you go forward, you see Oprah put out their hand in front of you.
you do have every right to refuse.
If
I
you
mean,
don't
it's
want
just
to
that-
do it, you don't have to do it.
But, I mean, how would you even collect this, grandmother?
I would say most likely we would take something from your either your palms or the soles of your feet. Maybe we would take some kind of a apparatus to scrape some of it off for you. If you'd like, we could just cut a chunk out.
for a couple minutes.
If you'd like, we could just cut a chunk out, but I doubt you'd be in for that.
I would rather not. But,
I can't ask my associate here. She's dead. Points over toward the witch in the hat.
it shouldn't hurt to to just help her a little bit, Miss Opera. It'll leave a good impression, will it not?
As long as it's what you want to do.
I would not have stepped forward if I did not mind.
Okay. She puts her arm down.
All right, grandmother, what must I do?
First off, she looks you over. Gallon.
Oh, how did you guess?
Looks to Koro. You don't seem to be the type to go for Koro.
Hey.
She steps over.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck that was supposed to mean, but
The fuck's that mean?
but I hate it.
You're probably right to hate it.
It's like,
He goes over to Kuro. It's okay, you'll find someone.
The last 3
They'll love you for who you are.
The last 3 people on the Kuro Bolo ship just fucking finally synced.
They could have been my girlfriend.
What do you mean?
oh, well, Nah.
Shut up, Gorthos.
But he knows these kinds of things. He's been around
You're only a
a
half
long
demon, so I won't.
time.
You're only a half demon, so I won't ask for any of your horn grinds. I'm not sure how
I
well you would
mean-
get those back.
Horn grinds? I mean, I haven't really polished my horns in quite a bit.
Perhaps you're needed to do so. If you are able to keep anything that comes off of it, feel free to throw it in the pot. Don't throw it
I
in the
would just-
expanse. I need it here. Unless you have a lot of it. Then
I
you
don't plan
can
on-
do whatever you want with that.
And I would just need an apparatus of some sort to kind of file them down a bit, but
If it was a full demon, I could just ask for a chunk or cut it off myself and run. That being said, thank you for offering your skin. She
Oops.
seems to pull out a small file and hand it over towards you. Do not go too much; you'll start to bleed. Again, I do not
yes.
need your blood.
Yes, of course.
And she'll just kind of lightly like file on the maybe like around her thumb or her fingers, where essentially where she'd be mostly holding like an arrow, so those would be maybe a little bit more callous.
Yeah, she'd mostly be like, yes. If you're looking to get more, then oh, you are an archer. Interesting.
Yes.
I felt a lot more holy energy around you. I thought for sure you were a priestess of some kind.
Only as of recently have I become a goddess.
Become a goddess.
There's a
She's just casually saying this while she's flying.
right now
It's-
until he properly recovers. I have been housing the god of the sun within my being.
I see.
He's actually quite nice.
You feel
His name
a
is-
sharp pain in the back of your head. You look over at her and she has pulled out a piece of your hair. I'll stow this away for later then, goddess.
Yes. Of
So
course.
first she was a princess, then she's a demon queen, now she's a goddess.
Well, we're certainly going up in the world.
Goddess!
He's so proud.
Goddess!
God damn it.
Anyway.
Yeah?
I
Yeah,
love
good?
that. I love that video. It's so good. Anyway, as you put some of your skin into it, you note that for a second, the skin seems to sit atop whatever this black and brown mixture is, but then it does seem to sink down. See? That's what I'm talking about. Look there.
Mhm.
This is where I put your friend's hair. 1 second. Who are you? Looks back to Marco.
Marco.
Marco, yes. This is where I put Marco's hair. And this is where I put Koro's hair. As you see, Marco's hair is not able to be seen anymore. However, Koro's hair is still floating at the top.
So
Your
why would
skin,
you say?
however, is going down into it. It seems the mixture is accepting it.
And why would it not accept Brother Kuro's hair?
Maybe he's not compatible with this kind of thing, or maybe he's just disappointing me again.
That second one was a bit too rude. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's not very nice.
It really isn't, no. This is why I isolate.
You see, those are called intrusive thoughts. We don't say those out loud.
There's a little part of her that is just like, when was the last time I spent a good amount with Galen? Would I have one of his hairs on me somehow? You know how like your girlfriend's hair gets everywhere?
You,
like,
you dig in for like a fucking like a hairbrush and see if you have some Galen hair.
Just like dig through her pockets.
Roll me a straight d20.
There's that curious roll lint.
Roll for lint.
There's just like there's just like if there's just a possibility out of genuine curiosity. That's a
Lucky
7.
number 7.
New here, do we like Kuro? We love Kuro. Kuro's great.
I love Kuro.
Kuro's the best. What do you mean?
We love Kuro. That's a 7 though.
You dig into your pockets. You look about for anything. You find your hairbrush that you and Galen have used before. You look it over. You do find a small thing of hair from Galen.
Oh. Should we test this out? It is one of Galen's.
I do not believe the hair of the male Gerudo should be used so leniently.
You just used Brother Kuro's.
But now that how this mixture will have both of them.
Toss it inside.
She just like holds her hand over the cauldron and just drops it in.
As you drop that hair in, you do note that for a moment it seems to sit atop, and then out of nowhere, a lot of the brown area on it seems to turn black, and both his and Kuro's hair seem to make their way down into the mixture.
Oh.
Curious.
What I'm curious about is why you must point out specifically the male Gerudo in terms of Galen, when Brother Kuro is also the male Gerudo.
Grandmother does not seem to think that I count.
That's
because I am not from the Gerudo tribes of the desert.
Why does that matter?
Different tribes have their own different ways of going about things. It turns that their tribe has made more males than our tribes have. So at the same time, they should not be held to the same principle or precipice as ours.
Then why did you say to him what you did to them both?
And that was?
That only one can be remembered.
I believe it's rather obvious. This is something that is made for Galen. We agree on that! If Galen gives in and does not go through with whatever he plans to do to get himself known, then Kuro will be known instead. And that's something that I do not think should happen, but if it happens, it happens. At the same time, if Kuro backs out and Galen goes forth with it, then that is what should happen in my eyes. I am not here to say that Kuro is a bad person or anything of that nature. But if we put their escapades beside each other, it is quite known that Kuro here, given the wealth of an early start he had, has done hardly anything compared to Galen's own exploits, even before leaving. Galen is one of the only people in the entirety of our world who has mastered not only a magic that I have taught him in a short amount of time, but a magic that goes against his very nature. He is a prodigy, one that only comes to our tribe every 100 years.
There's a schism in the Gerudo tribes?
Well, why did you never tell him this?
I didn't want him to get a good head over it, but it seems as if he has...
A big head anyway?
Yes. Especially since he has allowed for his... Excuse me, have you married him?
Not yet.
His girlfriend to call me grandma.
He said it was a shame he wasn't going to be there to see your reaction. He thought it would be funny. I don't know if this is funny.
I do not wish to have any of you uncomfortable. And again, I do not think that Koro is bad in particular. I think that it was diminishing that he happened to show when he did. She looks back over toward Koro. I have mentioned this to him before, but I do not think that he should be the one that we remember in our tribe. He didn't come from our tribe, and his tribe has more males appear in their lives than we do. There have been many different Gerudo males come from his tribe. They hadn't had them for quite a while, which is why they brought him to us. But at the same time, that should not mean anything.
Why is it you think they can't both be remembered?
He can gladly be remembered as he wants to be. I'm just saying there are certain values in our tribe that goes for it. If he
You
is
don't want him to be
remembered-
remembered over Galen.
Exactly.
I mean, if we're
He is
talking about
remembered over
values,
if he is remembered over top of Galen, one of the blood of the desert, one of our own tribe, if he gains that ability when Galen does not, do you not think that that is not fair?
But do you not think that what you had said ended up being more contradictory than what you wanted? He was willing to throw everything away for Koro to be remembered. And then what?
I didn't realize that they were that close.
You should have.
Again, this is why I isolate.
Or you
That
could
was your
just be
first
better.
What?
This is not to scold you, grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons I wish to see you, despite the warnings, many warnings, looks at Koro,
Just nodding, like,
is because I wanted to get to know you and maybe come to an understanding with you. Not to scold you. I apologize for raising my voice. The bit that both Brother Kuro and Galen had told me of you, I feared it had caused some resentment before I had even given you a fair chance to say your piece and tell your side. I think I can understand, or at least attempt to come to an understanding of what you meant and what your goals were. But for two people who have admired you so much, and yet it did not seem like you saw that. It did not seem that you saw them like they saw you as a person.
Zora,
For
looking over toward where Ronan is.
Be
Be better, you said.
I feel like it'd be better than just isolating yourself away from everyone.
I wish that such a thing could happen. I truly do. More than anything, I am doing this for Galen because I want Galen to be remembered. Not that I hate Koro. In fact, Koro has been of a wonderful help to me in several occasions. That is also to say Koro has not been perfect throughout all the different times I've interacted with him. There have been several times that I've had to either replace very priceless things or move because of Koro. That is not entirely true. That being said, I wish that we could be better. I wish that I didn't have to sacrifice Koro for Galen, but if I have to sacrifice one of my own blood or someone that has come from an opposite end of the world, I will take my blood. I wish that we didn't have to. I wish that the Gerudo would not put as much pressure as they do onto them. But pressure does, in fact, create diamonds. I told Galen that when he left because I wanted Galen to fight I wanted Galen to be remembered. I wanted Galen to stay. And I know that if Galen did, he would not allow for anyone to mistreat Kuro. I just did not understand that Galen would give up his own rewards, his own love, and his own ability in our tribe for Kuro. It is something that I should have known, I suppose. I stay away from my tribe because I don't agree with them. I have my own thoughts on how the Gerudo should live. And quite honestly, the lot of them are way too horny not to have any men near them.
So there is also another thing to bring up, and I don't know if you've noticed at all. They have been kind of going against tradition lately, from what we've heard. There are men in the city.
There are men in the city.
Like a lot.
They are bringing men to the city, in fact.
Some seem to be being brought there through
The chief is
magical
building a harem.
means. That's it.
She literally appeared in our dreams. Some of our dreams.
Not that it meant much, considering.
Gorthos is a good Christian man.
I had spoken with the deity of the oasis, and they had said that a great change was happening in the desert, and that I should leave for my own safety. But they are bringing men into our city. Very curious. I would have loved to have actually been there for that. Thanks a lot.
Well, surely you could simply scry on them.
I do not have that ability.
It is of such a detriment to the surrounding areas that a lot of the able-bodied men have been disappearing from Lower Hyrule.
Are we stealing them again?
In a manner of speaking.
Again!
Well,
whatever.
Hey, hold on. None of you knew?
Before.
How did none of you know that?
We've had
He's not that old,
we've had a very storied history. Don't worry about. We're doing that.
He thought we were talking about out of politeness.
Essentially, it seems like some kind of weird magic is being cast on the men to see the chieftain in their dreams in a odd way, and then when they wake up, they start seeing all the women as Gerudo versions of themselves, and eventually, I guess, leave.
They have my brother.
They do, in fact, have her brother.
I would like my brother back.
I hear you. I don't have any power over them. I can't just walk in there and get him back for you.
I know, but I very much worry for my brother. I am the only half demon of my lineage. He is a full demon, and I do not know what is going to happen.
Why did the Oasis deity tell me to leave? This sounds amazing.
He feels like you would find this more funny if you were there. Also, Oasis deity.
He is a deity, but not as you would. Don't worry about him. He's fine. When it comes to the Gerudo, there are not many alive who have seen us at our most terrifying.
This is true.
She motions over toward Gorthos. There are only very few who have ever seen the way we get sometimes.
He remembers now why sometimes he refuses to go to the desert.
I believe I've seen it. You're dead. Keep
way
stirring.
The way you get sometimes. Are you saying in this horny term you used?
You cannot have known what that term is.
It is not one that has been used.
Like, that's right. She reaches up and touches your horns.
She's heard the term horny. It's not in her vocabulary though.
Yes.
It's called in gallons.
It is in gallons. He's probably used horny around her, and that's like okay, so that's where her head is like that's where he got the term from. No, with her it's been fervor.
Galen says such weird things to me sometimes, like horny and handlebars.
Are these weird terms? Is Gorthos not out of date? Is this old?
Hey, Gorthos, you also have handlebars.
He knows. He is fully cognizant.
Just like takes the horn. He's also called these handlebars. Is that something the Gerudo call horn?
Also, technically, Ronan, you have them too in your armor.
I mean,
He's got optional
Yeah, you
handlebars.
think Ober looks over? Yeah, he does.
He's also got those little flappies on his side. They can be like little reins.
How are you all like this?
Welcome to every D&D party that's ever been. They're very horny on me.
Well, again, I do not. If they're just bringing men around, I don't see there to be too much of a problem. In fact, I believe this is something to be celebrated.
But some
mean,
are
people are being-
husbands and
go
I
ahead.
understand that they are doing something off, and I do understand that these people are being magicked away against their will. These magics do not stick. There is no one inside of the Great Desert that can actually create something like this to allow for it to have this much of a time to it. Eventually, they will be found out and they will be punished for what they have done by either all of you or by the time I get back, potentially. What I don't...
you were saying?
Who are you saying that to?
Oh no, she was gonna say you were saying Ronan because Ronan wanted to say something.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's this little thing called consent.
I understand that. I'm just
But
saying...
with all this magic and no consent.
I'm
is a
saying that
distressingly
I am
common
not
thing.
someone who is equipped to handle them. All of you potentially are, but at the same time, it is extremely hard to police them. If they are not told what to do by someone over them, then they will most likely fight their way out of whatever confrontations in front of them. And you do not want to be on the wrong end of a Gerudo cornered. We may not
You
keep a lot of
don't.
history, but believe me, it has never ended well.
Iron Knuckles are far from the most dangerous Gerudo.
That being
I
said,
thought Iron Knuckles were the most dangerous Gerudo.
You'd be surprised.
they are mostly the most dangerous. There are individuals that go beyond them. I believe that I potentially have the ability to ward off at least one or two of them. Though, that isn't fighting, that is using my magics. That being said, if you do plan to make your way there to save your brother, or anything of the sort, I believe that you are well within your power, well within your rights, and if you are traveling with the master of this place, motions to Gorthos, perhaps you could even make your way to the walls without them killing you. But if you would like, you can also wait until my things are done here and I can escort you back. It might take a little while, but I have my own things to do here. If I don't keep up with whatever it is this person is doing to defile these fairies and their mud, then I, for one, will not be able to sleep.
Excuse him?
Did I not,
What does
did I
that
not say
mean?
it earlier?
What do you mean you won't sleep?
I mean that I wouldn't be able to sleep.
As
I
in,
have a
she would not-
conscience, you know.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
She means in the aspect that she will feel guilty for doing nothing and letting it go on.
Sweetie,
No,
do
he
not,
thought she was
sweetie, do not
mentioning
take sweetie, do not take anything the wrong way when I say this. Looks back to Gorthos. I'm not the devil.
He's not. It's different. People have been suffering in their sleep lately from magics, so he assumed. Apologies.
Mm.
People are stealing others' experiences, after all.
So,
She just like looks at Obra really quickly.
in terms of learning magic, is there only one
Yeah.
way to learn it?
One moment. You have mentioned stealing memories and stealing experiences, and now you're speaking of magic. But there is only one way that I know of, yes, to learn magics. And again,
Oh,
as I mentioned earlier, Galen was a absolute prodigy when it came to it. Galen was always born as one that was touched by magic. He had a great, I want to say control, but that is the wrong word for it, a great affinity for wind-based magic whenever he was younger. And whenever I had tried to test him in other types of magics, it seemed that his exact opposite was the magic over fire. As such, I decided to teach that to him, and he took to it like a fish to water.
After being in water for a year?
After being around me, yes. He learned much more about the magics of fire than I believe anyone could have given that time, even myself. He was the quickest I believe I've ever seen anyone master an element before.
The quickest I've learned anyone make magic was in a moment.
Oh yeah?
Just looks at Obra.
Miss Obra? You would?
Right now we are speaking of learning magics, and motions over to Ronan. This is Ronan. But also,
Hi.
this is my apprentice in magic. I had taught them magic relatively quickly in about a month. The magics they now hold are magics that are very different than what my people usually go for, but the principles were the same. My people learn elemental magics not through your kind of suffering, but through innate potential, as you said Galen might have had, but also through study and through continual use. Okay?
That...
And your magic, you said you learned in a moment.
No, that is kind of somewhat what I meant. But there's also, well, again, mine is based on divinity, so but I did absorb a deity in a moment.
So it does seem as if the both of you are telling me that if you are born acclimated to certain elemental magics, or that you have a deity inside of you, it is a lot easier to learn magic?
Apparently, it seems that simply having the ability to scour someone's experiences allows you to also replicate magics without having to experience them yourself.
That is what I'm wanting to stop and talk about before all of this came up. You had said someone was stealing experiences.
Matilda, if you would.
Well, excuse me, Hosier. Thank you, Hosier.
You are incorrigible.
Just
Hosier's just like, I'm not glaring at a princess. That isn't what I'm doing. I'm not. I don't want.
Marco will for him.
As she steps out. Well, whenever we were over by the Great Temple of Time in the middle of Castletown, I'm sure you've been there. Whenever we were over there recently, me and my knight here, Jason, the hero chosen by the Sword of Evil's Bane, whenever we were coming out, I was hit in the head with some kind of a spell or something that seemed to have caused me to not only pass out, but also relive a lot of different memories and different things that I felt like were, whenever I learned skill, or whenever I had learned something that I believed that was sort of like a core memory for my own ability. Whenever that was going down, we had also heard that Miss Aga had also had a similar experience where she was going over all of the different moments that were taught to her with her magic and all the different traumatic things that go through learning magic like that. By the way, I also learned magic without hurting myself, but I don't want to dig too much into that, since you might just say it's because of the blood of the mortal goddess or whatever. But anyway, it feels like you can explain away anything because you're really old and you know how to talk more. But what I was mostly saying there is, it seems that is a thing that is happening. Yes.
Nailed it.
2 different witches have been affected by this, so somebody is trying to learn how witches do magic.
Very interesting.
It sounds quite similar in ways how Gorthos regains his lost skills.
I don't know much of it, but from the way each of you have explained things to me, through different sort of skills, she motions to herself, through study, motions over to Obra, through the grace of the gods, motions toward Polo and then toward Matilda. Magic is gifted among each of us differently. But I do like what you had said there, Princess, about something of a core memory. That is essentially what magic, in my way of teaching, is. I like to teach magic in a way that you do not forget it. You will always think back to the moment that you had attained that magic, to the time that you had been given. That is the way my coven has always done it. With that being said, obviously it is not the only way. That is the only way I know how to teach, because that is how I went through my life. But through a grace of a god, or through some innate strength of your blood, I'm sure that things could be different for you. Perhaps I could have taught Galen differently, as again, he was born with an innate skill in wind magic. I could have just fostered that skill as much as I could have, but I don't know. I felt something different from him, something more that I could sort of mold. But perhaps a year inside of the waters of the oasis was a bit much. He learned extremely quickly, but he was also very adamant about it. I'm used to people telling me no, or people telling me they need to break. But Galen did not. The entire time he was going through, he was...
Determined?
Yes. I had made such a harsh training regimen because I expected him to rebel. But he never did. Him and Kuro have always been troublemakers in the village. They had taken hydromelons. They had done different kinds of petty thefts throughout the years that they thought none of us saw, but we did. And I expected that to travel with him, but he was determined to learn this magic. He was determined to learn from me. Perhaps it was because he was turned away by the Iron Knuckles, or perhaps it was because it was something he felt he was there with, but he trained every waking moment of his time in the Oasis. And while he did that, he became the strongest user of fire magic I believe I've ever seen. He just needed to know the spells.
He is a master of it. But
I believe that if there were more than just myself around that would have seen him at his peak, and if he did get the training that would allow him to know stronger fire magics, he could easily become a sage himself.
This might seem like an old question, but in the time that he had trained with you, had you ever praised him for his efforts?
No. I did not. In fact, as I mentioned to you, I had thought that telling him that either him or Kuro would be remembered, not both, would be enough to set a fire underneath him. I had hoped that I would have done enough to give him determination to actually want to be remembered, because someone like him should not be forgotten in our society. And again, this is why I isolate. I'm not good at saying good things. The only reason I'm saying any of this now about him is because he isn't here. And if you tell him, I'll deny every single bit of it.
It's to be expected.
could deny every bit of it.
And this is where she's gonna pull a lie because she knows the eye doesn't work that way, but she's gonna pull out the eye.
But what if he's been hearing this whole time? Actually,
She throws at me.
And also,
Disappears.
Reappears.
Cool
wait.
stuff, cool
No,
stuff,
not
cool
not
stuff.
her eye. Not her eye. Her ring. Because even though it's not connected like that, it's still connected to Galen.
It's full of his magic.
throws it in that expanse.
My hand is attached to that spell.
Throws your hand in the expanse.
Cuts finger off. Puts in the expanse.
You know how hard it was to make. No,
By the
you
way-
know how hard it was to make one of those.
By the way, the expanse is really far away. There's no way.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I was like,
Yeah,
she
no,
disappears, throws it in the expanse.
She actually just holds out her finger with the ring.
what if he had been hearing this whole time?
Roll me for your charm.
Big number.
Yo, can I get like some fucking? I'm gonna take some inspiration.
Do it.
You can take some of this shit.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna make
Do
this
it,
old
girl.
lady
Let's
fucking
see.
shit herself.
Let me see. I want to start burning some Doritos with Gorthos powers. I'm in this room.
One, two.
It's fine. We can fucking. I'll just play the reverse Song of Time. We can save Scum.
Here is two fleetings as well.
Oh my
I would
god.
let's see. Once per day. Okay.
You're just gonna roll all the dice. Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, Squeaky likes rolling a lot of dice.
I'm going to hold on. I'm adding to your fucking pool. Hold on. You're either gonna get a 7 or a 4. Wait. Be happy.
Hold on.
11 plus. Yeah. You get 4. Add 4, whatever you're about to roll.
Okay, one sec.
All right. Let's see.
11 was the highest.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 altogether.
Yes.
As she looks to you, she looks to the ring, she looks back to you, she looks to the ring.
Do you sense his magic within the ring? This is how he and I are connected. I'm sure he would have loved to have heard it face to face, but I think this will have to suffice with him for now.
Polo, roll me diligence. And you have a fleeting.
Okay, hold on.
I can only do that one. I can only do that once. You're on your own.
Hold on. I'm gonna.
Of those who took over any
This
roll.
this one
take-
probably isn't as important, but you know, you can do what you want.
I'm gonna put fleeting, and I'm gonna put
You know what?
this.
I have some. I'm gonna give you some D4s as part of my
Alright.
daily.
All right, and then someone else put in a
Orthos.
fleeting in the chatter.
Yep, that's why I gave you. That's why I
Yes.
gave you this.
Okay,
you
and then
you put that one in. You have
Yeah.
3 then. There you go.
Yeah, I called
Alrighty.
all my dice a number thos because I thought it was funny.
No, that's funny. D4thos.
What are we doing?
Hee hee.
So many dice. 19.
Ooh.
19.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. 31 altogether.
Jesus
plus your diligence of 5, so that's 36. You note that she does turn away from you at that point and looks as if she starts stirring the pot with her own stick. You did note as she goes to turn, and this is going to sound very underwhelming for a 36, but you did see that there is a slight blush across her face.
Ah,
Good fuck.
worth it.
Fuck.
She completely believes you.
And then she'll be sure to tell Galen everything.
Woo! Stacking.
Great.
I
Either
used all
way.
my dailies for that.
Either way, I believe we're all done here.
Hmm.
Yes. Thank you very much, Grandma.
I will think back on different things of the Gerudo, and if you all need any more information before charging yourselves headlong in there, then go ahead. If there's anything else you want to ask, there is one more thing, Grandma. Interrupting me? Yes, all right, go ahead.
Of course, Kuro would interrupt me.
Oh, first
God
off, here's the line. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
But there is one more thing, Grandma. When I had left you and Galen, when we had parted ways after getting you that mud, eventually I did travel back into the city. They had captured me as well. Captured you. They were capturing everyone. And when they captured me, they did not treat me like their brother. Similar to how you were saying now. They did not see me as one of them. And I hated that so much. And hearing you say that whenever there is apparently nothing wrong with you, I hate it. I hate it, and I don't know if I can forgive you for it. I just wanted you to know that even though I am from a different tribe, I was raised with all of you. And even though I cannot forgive what you said, and probably will never forget it, you are my grandma. And Galen is my brother. And every one of them back home are my sisters, my aunties, my moms. Every one of them. And I'm going to go now with that bandit queen. Hi. And we are going to go and we are going to march in there and get to a safe place and wait for the others to show up.
You tell her.
Yeah! Not gonna mention the marriage thing at all.
He was going pretty good there up to the end.
And I hope your mud is kind to you. Goodbye. I probably will not seek you out again. I love you. He turns and starts walking away.
Yeah.
Well, you all going to gawk? Get going.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Well,
Yes, of course.
Yo, that's the trail.
he was waiting for everyone else, to be honest. He never knows when someone has something else to say.
Thank you again, Grandmother, for your time. Where should we send an invitation for the wedding?
Just walks away.
She ignores you at the end.
She looks back to you. She looks forward. I don't think that far ahead.
We will ask around for your whereabouts then.
Nods.
Boop, 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 boop.
As you guys walk out, we'll say that you guys will go up the stairs and meet with Kuro, who is standing over by where the entranceway to the bridge is. As he is standing there, he looks back to each of you guys. So, that was Grandma. She's great.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So I'm gonna go.
You want to talk about it?
No, I
Do
think
you need a moment, Brother Kuro?
I think I am.
Ow.
I think I am fine, Polo. I knew she was not. Hearing it all out loud
But
is hard, but I know there is something wrong with the rest of them, and I know that Galen would never think of me as anything but his brother, and the same goes for you and everyone else here. So I will be fine. I might have to think a little bit on the road, though.
Of course. Be safe out there, and make sure you get out there quickly. I don't know how much more time you have left before it, becomes a big wagon.
We will stop by your home, and I will ask Shefos for a hair if he can give me one, and we will see you out
I
then.
have one.
Oh, you do?
Here, I
Oh,
have
that's
one.
good, because he couldn't give me more than one, I don't think.
No, he gave me one just as we were leaving before. So here, take this one.
He will take it, as he does. Is anyone else going to come? Well, I have to, so...
She has to.
We will see if anyone else wishes to join. I might go and see if any of the himbos want to go.
Ah, good.
What?
That's what we call ourselves, the himbo.
Is that supposed to be an anagram? Or
Never heard this
something?
word before.
The
It's what the prince called us.
Domi
luck with that.
named you that?
Mm-hmm. He said it was an ancient word of great merit.
Okay, so I need to check my ancient Hyrulean lexicon, Deco.
Go and roll me experience.
Oh man, turns out it's ancient Kokiri.
It turns out it might be ancient Kokiri, but maybe there's something there. Maybe I got something.
I'm trying to think of an anagram for himbo.
Oh, how about... Oh wait, I have fucking Diorthos bonuses, but it's fine. I meant to grab inspirations first, but it's alright. So 8 plus 7,
The 15?
Is it?
You feel like
Yeah, 8, 6.
you feel like you might have you might have heard it somewhere before in passing. It's something like it means something like big, like big something, big broad, big man, big something. You don't know. It's there's something there. It's not on the tip of your tongue.
It sounds
It's a grand name for great
sounds-
large warriors.
He's not sure where it's come from, but he knows that word. It means something. It's infuriatingly hard to remember what it is. It's only about size.
Either way, I will see if Domi wishes to go. Perhaps we can find Lobo. That might be fun too. I do not know what a rocket is.
He should have been with.
my brother.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Poor rocket won't survive.
I don't think we were streaming when I made the joke last week.
Yeah.
Guys,
You want to
help!
repeat it?
Help! They just keep petting and kissing me. I don't understand.
Why do they have so much peanut butter?
Oh no! No!
Just a screaming no.
No!
There you go. I said it for you.
You leave that good boy alone!
You leave that poor boy alone.
Rocket's just slumped on the side, his hands are tied behind his hands and legs tied. He just has peanut butter all up in his
Oh, man,
snout.
this nice lady gave me a box of chocolates.
They can have chocolates for people. It's fine.
They just gave him jars of peanut butter as food. That's what's going on.
It's
Nothing
not
else.
perishable.
Do you guys want to say anything to Sierra or Cora before they go?
Travel safe.
I'll try to poke around and see if any of the other witches might have an idea on why miscellaneous potions could have been stolen and what purpose could have been for that.
I don't know if we find anything about around here. Again, it most likely happened around Eastern Hyrule, around the Sun Temple, or around the Riverzor domain. But if you want to look into it, go ahead. Again, it was just a bunch of the weird ones.
Yeah. Will do.
All right. We will see you all in a couple of days then.
Yes.
Be
Please
safe.
be safe, you two.
We will. And don't worry, he won't. She looks at him. I've known him for a few days. He'll be fine. I've already forgotten. You haven't. I haven't. But you will. I won't. Well, you'll be better. You'll be fine.
What was that? Follow.
She was gonna be like, it is okay if you need a moment, Brother Kuro. In fact, Miss Sierra is a very good listener.
I
Should
am?
you need to talk? Shh.
I am.
It's true.
I am. I'm the best at that. Well then, I have probably a lot to say, so we will see. Mm-hmm.
He just becomes this fucking armchair therapist throughout the ride.
As
He
they go
just
to
vents
leave,
everything to her.
as they go to leave, Sierra looks back towards you guys and gives a nod, like they'll do their best. And the two of them take off, heading off toward where they'll be taking the carriage. Most likely taking one of your horses. Most likely that horse will not be Dawn, because Dawn isn't a horse, and nobody but Ronan could probably even hope to keep Dawn in check. As you guys see them take off, you guys are still here. You see Hosier look about. Well, Princess Matilda, what do you think, Princess Matilda? We should do, Princess Matilda.
It's always nice to see people getting along.
I'm so proud.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
And as quickly as it began, it ends.
It wasn't as great to tell her about the magic thing as I'd hoped. She seemed to have some kind of a big understanding about it, or at least have some kind of grand plan for Galen. I can't wait to tell the other one. Hopefully they'll have a better response.
Maybe.
I am curious how she was unaware. I mean, this little coven of witches comes together at least every couple years or so. Would she have not come into contact with a Zora witch?
I mean, she had one with her right there, but she didn't really let her talk.
Also, she was dead, so it's probably another. Maybe it's like a. Why am I forgetting the name of Galen's other spirit?
Bull?
Bull?
I don't
Yeah,
think
maybe
that,
she's.
I don't think that she was how do I put it? I don't think that she didn't know that other ways of magic existed. She just didn't know that they came so easily. Perhaps she didn't ask questions. Either way.
Didn't care.
Exactly, especially from how she talked. Either way, she seemed to easily accept the fact that there are other ways of learning, which infuriates me.
Some people are set in their ways of things.
I don't know. I guess I just can't get a good vibe from anybody who does something like that to Kuro. It's like if you did something like that to Rocket, or if you did something like that to like any of them. It's like if someone did something like that to Ronan. No, they would probably be in the hole if they did that to Ronan.
Yeah, they would probably be in the hole.
It's an expanse. No, the whole hole. Oh, yes, that is that is not an expanse. Carry on.
Chasm.
It's... I do agree with you, Miss Obra. I do not like how her words were so harsh for Brother Kuro. But they were also just as harsh on Galen as well. And only seemed to have the opposite effect of what she was hoping for. His determination was merely wanting her praise. The fact that she withheld it is Sad.
At best, she's incompetent. At worst, she's negligent.
With the amount of witches that I've seen so far, it seems like almost par for the course of how they act. It seems like a common thread with them to be a little bit...
Thanks, Marco.
Yeah, Marco. What the hell?
With these kinds!
Meanwhile, Ronan is like, yo, my girlfriend's right
What the
fucking
fuck?
here, dude.
What do you mean?
Meanwhile, Matilda's like, wow, Marco.
Fine, it's fine, I'll just...
No, come back.
Hey, Marco, did you know there's mold in the hole over there?
Oh!
Mold, woo!
Swan dives into this.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, once you guys started talking about how different ways of learning magic and stuff, and how it's like you got to be born with stuff or whatever, I was about to say something, but then I'm like, I'm kind of an exception too, like with the whole blood of a goddess thing flowing through me or whatever. So I didn't want to say it, but then I ended up saying it anyway because I just really love talking. I think
You do.
it's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, princess.
It is not. Northern loves to talk too.
It's not a great thing, princess.
Well, he doesn't like talking at all, so it's fine.
I might have missed something.
No,
Why is
everything's
Mr.
fine.
Hosier here?
Oh,
Revenge.
we are going. Yes.
Revenge, finding out more about the Sage, why he did what he did,
Yes.
maybe how they...
Apparently, all of you had met with him in Lon Lon. That
Oh,
means,
yes.
that means not only has he attacked my family, but he's also attacked my town.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he apparently has people held hostage.
Yeah.
He has one that we know of, a demon.
And from what we just heard from that witch, he has some kind of an army of puppets.
Mhm.
And they're all using, as far as we can assume, fairy mud to beef themselves up in some way.
To pass
We've
his
killed one.
To pass
I mean, I guess
himself
it's
on
It provides them with magic resistance.
a very convincing disguise.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And does that mean that regular weapons work on them? You guys
should.
know
Yeah.
that whenever Kuro was trying, regular attacks didn't seem to do anything, and magic attacks seemed to do half or very little.
They're distressingly resilient to magic and mundane forms of damage.
Kuro couldn't do much to them with his weapon.
Mhm.
Perhaps we need some kind of a special weapon then?
Maybe
Maybe like a shovel.
I'll go get
Because they're made
Dante.
of mud, right?
But it is hardened mud like clay, so maybe a pickaxe.
Hmm.
Or a blood instrument.
Looks to Mace. Well, this is kind of blunt.
Looks to vault door.
As you look to the vault door, you just like scroll down to Ivoria. She's just staring at you. Or I don't know, water.
Why don't you take the fun out of everything he does?
You're not going in here.
Yay.
That is
Why?
true,
Did I miss something? Why can't we go in there?
We
You'll
can't go in
die.
there.
Well, that's just silly.
That is true. Ganon did attack them with water.
We'll get some sources of water then.
If it's water, then maybe me and Aster could help.
Hmm? What do you mean?
I don't know, like, if it's gonna be anywhere effective or anything, but most fairies are decently adept at water enchantments.
Ooh.
Okay.
That would make sense.
As Aster just sort of flies over, it's just like, I don't know if I would call myself adept at it, but I definitely can do it really good.
Are you suddenly not sleepy anymore?
Also, I don't
I
know
did
how much.
resting.
Yes.
I wonder if so. I was able to put the giant cake in a card, right?
You want to
How
put
much-
a giant torrent of water in there?
Yes, I've wondered just how much water could fit into one of these cards.
Maybe a barrel. I believe me and Ronan can do well enough with water now, especially as well, too, right? Or
Can I do stuff with? I know you can do stuff with water.
were you not? That might not be something we had gone through.
I'm
Right,
looking at my stuff.
yours was light, fire, and
yeah, we need the
something.
tokens back.
Yeah,
Also,
we need the tokens back.
Didn't-
It was light, fire,
Didn't he
and
have
something.
dark?
light,
Might be
fire,
dark?
and earth.
Earth. Okay.
Was it dark? Earth?
I'll get it back to you. Don't worry, I forgot about those.
So we have an answer to.
If they work, I mean, if
If
they're
they
made from some kind of clay or mud, then soaking them might be something we could do first.
We just get some barrels of water from somewhere, and then we put them in a card and
Would the
dump them on them.
would the opposite be true as well then? If they're made of mud, would drying them out be anything good?
That.
could-
Yes.
We could try the lantern.
Yes.
Try the lantern, and I'm just thinking though, like he and Slaverman were working on getting like monster and demon blood, right?
Yeah.
What do you think he's like mixing them? The fairy mud and the blood?
Hmm.
Could that
That
be something
definitely-
we should worry about?
That definitely wasn't what Slaverman was doing, but if they were using Slaverman to gather blood, maybe.
Holy damage did something to that puppet, Duco.
Mm-hmm.
Holy magic hurt the puppet.
They have a lot of
Oh, yeah, it
weaknesses because
did.
they're really strong.
Are light and holy the same thing?
Light and holy are not the same thing.
I'm trying to remember if I had light or holy for my thing.
We can check.
I feel like I
we,
had holy.
we can check the thing before. We can.
We'll check the archivist. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Okay.
I know that Polo can do light or heat damage, so she can also dry things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I also can do heat things because fire mace.
Yeah.
Well, fire and
So-
heat, fire and dry are two different things.
Yeah.
If something is dry, here's the fun thing that people keep forgetting. At least whenever when we were doing it during the thing, like people in the comments were talking about it. When things are dry, I have them take double fire damage.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's
Which is
something where
really
it
good.
interacts. That's something where it interacts with it. But yeah, heat and fire are two different things.
But they work very well together.
They do. They really do.
Right.
So we have some kind of a thought of it. Well, I mean, I guess you guys do. I'm probably not going to be involved in any of that.
You don't want to go back to the old dungeon?
Well, I mean, I do want to go where. Again, it feels weird to go without Nimbus and the others, though.
We can bring them.
Nimbus is here, but the others. Yes. Well, why wouldn't they all? Aren't they all here? Oh, I
We
guess
can
it's
easily
not.
gather them. See if Darwin would want to come too, and we just have a whole force of people go after this one sage. I feel like that'd be enough.
Going after Vati in this way could be effective.
Probably be really good, but I mean, I'm sure that they're all really busy.
Do you not want to deal with Vati,
I don't know who that is.
the sage of life?
I don't. Look, I may just have a little bit of reservations about bringing Domrin or any of the other ones back into the place where all of us almost died.
I mean, that's fair.
There's now more than double of us,
You'd have a lot
and I'm not
more help.
bound.
Yeah.
And the odds of that creature being there are lessened now, to his
Yeah, there were
dismay,
reports that there was a moblin roaming around other places, if I remember right.
which is bad, but we'll deal with that when the time comes.
If you can convince Domrin and the others, then I suppose I'll have to go.
It's okay to be afraid.
Well, I'm not just gonna have them go by themselves.
Would you rather them not go?
sorta. But that's not really something that an oracle should say.
To be honest with oneself is something that should always be said. If you don't tell them how you feel, who is?
It's... Whenever we were missing Domrin, I was definitely wanting to go, and I think I told you as much, Marco. It's something that I wanted to do for, I guess, the same reasons as Hosier. I guess I wanted revenge, but once Domrin came back, I guess all that just sort of switched over to me not wanting to go and lose everything again.
This is a feeling he knows better than most. Believe it or not.
Nimbus had said something similar whenever we were talking with him. Only on his side, he can't get that place out of his mind. Something about how, until he conquers that place, he can't even be around any of you. That's stupid. Getting revenge isn't going to be the be-all, end-all of everything, and without any sort of revenge in your heart, it seems that you've lost a lot of drive, but that doesn't mean that your allies have lost their drive. You are a great oracle, but at the same time, out of all of them, you were sort of the one that was keeping them from being, well, just your average everyday troop. Without you, they don't have a lot of what they are as a great group. And as they just said, everybody here is going to be there as well. I'll be there. And I'm sure that the glory of taking that place over and making it to where no one else is going to be destroyed by whatever it was down there will be worth taking our way down, don't you think? Hosier, shut up. You're just wanting to look good in front of the princess. I really could care less right now.
He makes a very good point. Going through with it would keep anyone from going through what you guys went through. And with all of us there, what happened last time won't happen again.
Can't change the past, technically, but we can certainly save the future. And this is a good step in the right direction for that.
And everybody here has already done something truly fantastic about you, right? You didn't think that you would be taken away from that goal that you had in mind because of the goddesses or whatever, but Ronan and the others got you through that. We can all get through that place. Stop.
If their hype woman can't even drum it up to get them going, then who can?
He supposes if anyone is going to help anyone understand anything, it might be Domri, which means Polo will have a very difficult job at it, or being a translator.
But I'm Domrin's translator.
He just kind of like looking away from Pika, just like, if only.
But I'm Domrin's translator.
There's that thing of, as much as she has been like such a bro for Pika right now with Domrin, there's also the thing of like, maybe,
I mean, Domrin does seem very, very happy that someone finally understands him.
I completely understand him, and I bring everything for, you know, I do so well at that stuff.
Is it only you being a translator? Do you do anything else for your party, your friends?
Of course I do.
Like what? What can you bring to the table here?
I don't want to say exactly what Marco just said, but I do cheer them on a lot. And it's not just
Yes, they're hype
cheering.
women.
I don't just cheer at them. There's
Yes,
magic
you also do
there.
choreographed dances for them too.
There's magic there, and I also sing beautifully, angelically. I've been told.
My God.
Listen, we don't need your whole life story about this, all right? You can just go do the thing.
He's getting to a
if you
point,
can-
but yes.
What's your point?
The point is, you know exactly what your friends need. They need you. So stop beating around the bush and go join them. And us, in a little excursion. To right the wrongs that have befallen you, and to ensure that they never happen to anyone ever again.
Finish what was started and all that junk.
It's okay to be worried and afraid. Gorthos has been all the time. It's overcoming your fear that's what makes the hero a hero. Not the absence of it. That makes someone a fool.
We'll see what the others think. Whenever Aga wakes up, and if you guys can convince Domrin to do it, maybe I will come with you all as well, if that happens. If those two say
Alright.
yes, and also if Nimbus and, I mean, I guess both of them already did say yes.
Well, it seems we have an arduous task ahead of us, friends, but surely we'll overcome this as well.
You don't have to say it like that, Gorthos. You don't have to say it like everything's already made and done. You starts like trying to climb up the cloak.
It's not like you stop it. It's
You don't
not like
have
he's
to
gonna
act
stop
like
anyone.
this. You don't have to act like everything's said and done. There's still a lot of things that need to happen before this happens.
Is there?
Domrin
And you
is
can't
not the
just stay
easiest
home.
person to convince. Domrin is a tough warrior, and he's very scary, and he could beat you up, and I don't think you can tell him anything.
Only one of those things is true, I think.
Gorthos, take his chances. He did make that armor. He's pretty sure he knows how to break it.
You could tell him that there's a really good meal in store for him after when you return. Usually after a long, arduous battle or even training. So Domrin seems to love to indulge in culinary delight.
It's important to keep one.
As you say, Domrin loves to do this. It's just like reflecting. Love.
Yes. Food.
Fish.
Well, then again, though, you did say nothing is said and done, so he supposes we'll have to see if fate lets us succeed in this.
Can I bring my pictograph?
Of course.
You just see the big grin appear in the dark of the road. He would be remiss if you did not bring a pictograph.
Who is going to capture Domrin's most dashing moments in battle?
I know, right? Ah! she jumps off from the cloak, expecting to fall down with the grace of an oracle, but she instead trips over her feet. Then again, we will see if the others are fine with it, and I will try to convince them as much as I can bring myself to at the moment.
Alrighty then.
The course of action has been set.
Why do I feel like this happens a lot with all of you?
It's all about how you talk to people, Jose. Perhaps one day you'll learn.
It feels like I said the same thing all of you did, and then we just broke them down with sheer numbers.
Yes, look what those
Yeah.
That is what we do, yes.
people are so stubborn.
I didn't really try that hard, but you know.
You'll learn one day.
As Hosier is getting used to this group and the way that they are doing things, We are at 3 hours 40 minutes of being in stream. So I do think that we should end things off here for the night. Next time we can see if we need to visit any more witches. We don't have to. We have quite a lot of information already. We can see if there's anything else that needs to be going down. See if we need to talk to any of the other people about, or if we just need to rest up and ready ourselves for all the cake in the world. As everybody sets off to go and do their own things, Kuro and Sierra making their way off to the deserts to catch up with potentially Rocket and Vega. I believe that we're going to be ending things here, and I hope that everybody had a good time. And until next time, guys, like always, later days.
Goodbye.